Chapter 27-22 if you want it. Come and get it yourself. Lu Ming, stop. At this moment, a cold voice was heard. Then, a figure flashed and a young man in a purple robe appeared in front of Lu Ming, blocking his way. Then, in a flash, the other 8 young men and women surrounded Lu Ming. He's really in a hurry. The corners of Lu Ming's lips curled up slightly, forming a cold smile. Lu Ming, Elder Huoquan is not around now and no one can protect you. You'd better hand over the team leader's flag. You have no right to be our team leader, do you understand? The purple-robed young man said with a look of disdain. That's right. If you hand over the flag obediently, we might let you take on a mission for the sake of our fellow disciples. You might even get a huge amount of points. Otherwise, we can only ask you to get lost. The other young woman was even more domineering and had a haughty expression. As soon as they arrived at the Ice Soul Clan's territory, they could not help but ask Lu Ming to hand over the team leader's flag. My position as the team leader was personally appointed by the sect master. Could it be that you all want to disobey the sect master's order? Lu Ming said indifferently, his expression very calm. Don't use the sect leader to pressure us. There's an old saying that goes, when a general is outside, he will not listen to the orders of the sovereign. Furthermore, this mission concerns the safety of all of us. How can we let an outer sect disciple like you be the team leader and endanger our lives? That's right. Furthermore, there are people from other sects here as well. If they find out that our team leader is an outer sect disciple, we'll be laughed at. Why are you talking so much nonsense with him? If he doesn't hand it over, we'll take it ourselves. A few young men spoke coldly, and some of them were already getting impatient. It's not impossible for me to hand over the flag. At this moment, Lu Ming's voice was suddenly heard. The others smiled disdainfully. They knew that Lu Ming would not dare to disobey their wishes. But I'm very curious. If I give the flag to you, who will be the leader? Lu Ming said with a smile. Of course, it'll be the team leader. My cultivation is the highest here. A young man with a long face said arrogantly. Bulls. H.I.T., you have the highest cultivation? What a joke. Did you ask me? A tall and burly young man immediately roared, and a powerful aura erupted from his body. 4th level True God stage. This burly young man exuded an extremely shocking aura. His cultivation was at the 4th level of the True God realm. Lu Ming's eyes flickered, revealing a look of surprise. He was indeed worthy of being an elite of the inner sect. He was less than 10,000 years old, but his cultivation had already reached the 4th level of the True God stage. With this kind of cultivation, he could even become an overlord in the chaotic astral river. For example, the palace master of the Yuanluo Palace and the sect master of the Xiaoyao sect were both at the 4th stage of the True God realm. However, the combat power of the inner disciples of the Kongxian sect was definitely far above that of the palace master of the Yuanluo Palace and the sect master of the Xiaoyao sect. I'm not afraid of you. The long-faced young man also exploded with a shocking aura. He was also at the 4th stage of True God realm, and he fought against the burly young man. The other people's eyes could not help but reveal fear and solemnness. Don't be incited by this brat. If he wants us to make a move, it won't be too late to make a move after we get the flag. At this time, another young man spoke. The long-faced young man and the burly young man then retracted their aura and looked at Lu Ming. That's right, let's get the flag first, then we'll decide who's the leader. The long-faced young man said, Brat, your instigations are too low-level. They're useless against us. Hand over the flag and don't waste our time. The purple-robed young man shouted. The others also stared at Lu Ming with an unfriendly expression. Looks like you guys still have some intelligence and aren't too stupid. Alright, whoever wants the flag, come and take it. Let's see if you have the ability to do so. Lu Ming smiled and opened his palm. The flag was in his palm. You overestimate yourself and still dare to fight with us. Then I'll teach you a lesson first. The purple-robed young man took the lead. He took a step forward and waved his hand. His 5 fingers stretched out and grabbed at Lu Ming like a cage. The divine energy whistled. Before the claw had even reached Lu Ming, the powerful airflow was already crushing him with shocking power. This purple-robed young man had the cultivation of the second stage of true God. Your cultivation is not bad, but your combat strength seems to be ordinary. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat and he threw a punch with his bare hands. This brat actually dared to fight back, and he even fought back empty-handed. He really doesn't know his own strength. One move and he'll probably be kneeling on the ground. The other young men also had the same thought. However, in the next moment, they couldn't help but widen their eyes in disbelief. Lu Ming's fist collided with the purple-robed young man's claw. A loud boom was heard, and a figure was forced to retreat. The person who retreated was the purple-robed youth. The purple-robed young man staggered and took more than a dozen steps back before he could stabilize himself. "You?" The purple-robed young man looked at Lu Ming in shock. He could not believe it. He was at the second-tier True God realm, while Lu Ming's aura was only at the 8th-tier Void God realm. He was actually forced back by a person at the 8th level of the Void God realm in one move. How was this possible? You want to be the team leader with this bit of strength? What a joke! Lu Ming smiled in disdain. Kid, don't be so insolent. I only used 30% of my power just now. The purple-robed youth shouted. Indeed, he had only used 30% of his power. He had thought that 30% of his power would be enough to deal with an outer disciple. He did not expect that Lu Ming's ability was beyond his imagination. I'm sorry, I only used 10% of my power just now. Lu Ming smiled faintly. He had indeed only used a tenth of his strength, but how could the others believe it? You're boasting shamelessly. I'd like to see what kind of ability you have. The purple-robed young man roared. A sword-chi soared into the sky. A combat sword appeared in his hand. He used a divine skill. The sword-chi whistled and swept toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming's palm glowed and a long spear appeared. The long spear vibrated and swept toward the purple-robed youth. Boom, boom, boom. With a few consecutive booms, the purple-robed young man's sword-chi collapsed and the long spear continued to lash at him. His body shook violently and he was sent flying by Lu Ming's spear. He crashed into the wall made of 100-million-year-old ice and almost shattered it. The purple-robed young man spat out a mouthful of blood. His face was pale as he looked at Lu Ming in shock. He had already used all his strength and displayed a divine skill, but he was not a match for Lu Ming's spear and was injured by it. How could Lu Ming's ability be so powerful? It was too terrifying. He could not believe it. An 8th-tier virtual god ranking list could actually suppress him, which was a huge blow to him. On the side, the other 8 young men and women were also dumbstruck as they watched this scene. Chapter 27-23. Do you still want to fight? Your strength is very ordinary. Lu Ming muttered in his heart. He compared the purple-robed youth with the winged demon, Fengyuan Dao, madman, and the others. He realized that if they were at the same level, the purple-robed youth was far from being a match for the winged demon, Fengyuan Dao, and the others. This was normal. Winged demon, Fengyuan Dao, and the others were the top 10 existences on the outer sect's virtual god ranking list. Their combat strength far exceeded those of their peers, and the other outer sect disciples couldn't compare to them. After they entered the inner sect, they would definitely be the elite disciples of the inner sect. Their future prospects would definitely not be comparable to ordinary disciples. Although the purple-robed young man was considered an elite in the inner sect, he was still far from the winged demon and the others. Although his cultivation had reached the second stage of True God realm, his fighting power was probably not as good as Fengyuan Dao and the others who were at the first stage of True God realm. Moreover, Lu Ming's current strength had improved by leaps and bounds compared to when he was in the Dark Dragon secret land. Naturally, it was easy for him to deal with the purple-robed youth. You're still trying to fight for the captain's position with such weak strength? Who else wants the captain's flag? Make your move. Lu Ming's gaze swept across the other 8 people. A few people's expressions changed. Their cultivation was on par with the purple-robed young man. Lu Ming could easily crush the purple-robed young man. They were definitely not his match. However, not everyone would be afraid. Kid, you're quite strong. You must be in the top 3 of the outer sect virtual god ranking list. The long-faced young man narrowed his eyes and said coldly. The others' eyes flickered as they came to a realization. Only the top 3 on the virtual god ranking list would have such terrifying strength. You talk too much nonsense. If you want to attack, then hurry up. If you don't dare, then get lost. Lu Ming berated. How presumptuous. I can even defeat the number 1 on the virtual god ranking list. Today, I'll show you the difference between the inner sect and the outer sect. The long-faced young man's eyes were cold. In a flash, he was like a bolt of lightning, charging toward Lu Ming. Its speed was shockingly fast. This was a speed-type divine skill. An ordinary person would have been hit before they could even react. However, Lu Ming was not an ordinary person. Buzz. The long spear in his hand buzzed and trembled. Then, it burst out and turned into dozens of spear shadows, stabbing in all directions. Buzz. The next moment, the long-faced young man's figure appeared. He drifted backward and avoided Lu Ming's attack. Kid, your reaction is quite sharp. Then I'll suppress you with my power. The long-faced young man shouted coldly, and his aura of a stage 4 true god burst out completely. A 4th stage true god was much stronger than a 2nd stage true god. His divine power was like a turbulent wave, forming a terrifying pressure that pressed toward Lu Ming. A spear appeared in his hand. Meteor spear. With a low growl, the long-faced young man thrust his spear at Lu Ming like a shooting star. A terrifying divine technique, under the support of stage 4 true god divine power, the power was astonishingly strong. Lu Ming immediately activated the double combat power of the battle formula. The divine power in his body circulated at full force. 5 divine flames burned fiercely, erupting with shocking power. 3 apocalyptic strikes, break the sky. Lu Ming immediately used his strongest move. The 2 spearlights collided in the air like 2 stars colliding. Thump. A terrifying explosion sounded, and a terrifying force spread out. The others' expressions changed, and they retreated, using their divine power to block it. Bang. Bang. The scattered energy bombarded the ground and the walls. Even though the ground and walls were made of 100-million-year-old ice, they still left deep scars on them. Then, everyone saw a figure retreating. With every step he took, he left a footprint on the ground. He retreated more than a dozen steps before he could stabilize himself. The person who was retreating was the long-faced young man. CSI. Gasps could be heard at the scene. Lu Ming had actually repelled the long-faced young man. How was this possible? The long-faced young man had the cultivation of stage 4 true god. An 8th-level ethereal god realm expert could force back a 4th-level true god realm expert. Moreover, he wasn't an ordinary 4th-level true god. What kind of monster was he? The others could no longer use the word shocked to describe their feelings. They simply thought that they were dreaming. This is impossible. The long-faced young man was also in disbelief. You have some strength. A stage 4 true god is indeed powerful. Lu Ming also thought to himself. The 4th stage true god realm was much stronger than the 2nd stage true god realm. Even Lu Ming would find it difficult to defeat him. And let's attack together. Let's attack together and suppress this brat. At this moment, the long-faced young man shouted. He was calling the burly young man. In this group of people, only he and the burly teenager and had the highest cultivation, reaching the 4th stage of true god realm. The others were all at the 2nd or 3rd stage of true god realm and were not Lu Ming's match. All right, let's attack together. And stepped forward. An iron rod appeared in his hand. It was pitch black, and it looked extremely heavy. Kid, your power is beyond my expectations. As long as you can defeat the 2 of us, I will recognize you as the leader. No, in the future, you will be my boss and I will follow you. And said in a deep voice. His eyes were filled with a strong desire to fight. As you wish, make your move. Lu Ming said. Attack! The long-faced young man shouted and charged at Lu Ming with all his might. He used the meteor spear to its maximum. At the same time, Enhai made his move. His iron rod was like a mountain, pressing down on Lu Ming. When the 2 of them joined forces, their strength was unleashed to the extreme. Their power was like an avalanche. Even Lu Ming did not dare to be careless. Boom. Lu Ming triggered it continuously and finally punished the battle character formula by 3 times. 3 apocalyptic strikes, break the sky. Lu Ming cast the 3 apocalyptic strikes again. The 2 spear lights collided with the long-faced young man and an high. Boom, boom. After a few collisions, the 2 figures retreated. It was an high and the long-faced young man. After Lu Ming's combat strength was tripled, the 2 of them were even more outmatched and were being suppressed by Lu Ming. As the 2 of them retreated, Lu Ming immediately followed up. The spear's gleam was like a mountain pillar, pressing down on the 2 of them. The 2 of them roared and tried their best to block, but they couldn't. The spear light pressed down, and the 2 of them coughed up blood. Their bodies were pushed back violently, and they hit the wall. The wall that was made of 100-million-year-old profound ice almost shattered. The 2 of them vomited blood and their faces were as pale as paper. They looked at Lu Ming in shock. Heavens, this. The others were also shocked beyond words. It was as if there was a lump of dog hair stuck in their throats, and they couldn't stop trembling. Thump. Lu Ming took a step forward and the hall shook. His fighting spirit was high. Wait, I'm not fighting anymore, I surrender, and Hai was the first to call out. He looked at Lu Ming with respect and deep admiration. Lu Ming, you're a pervert. I and Hai am a man of my word. Since you've defeated us, you're the team leader and my boss from now on. And Hai patted his chest. Lu Ming did not comment. He looked at the long-faced young man and said, "What about you? Do you still want to fight?" Chapter 27-24 The Challenge of the Unique Devil Academy. The long-faced young man's face turned pale. In the end, he gritted his teeth and turned to walk into a room without a word. "Did I let you go?" Lu Ming said coldly, causing the long-faced young man's body to stiffen and stop in his tracks. "What are you trying to do?" the long-faced young man asked with an unsightly expression. Lu Ming ignored him. He swept his gaze across the others. "What about you guys? Whoever wants to fight, come at me together. Let's not waste time." Lu Ming said. The other 7 young men and women shivered and broke out in cold sweat. What a joke! The long-faced young man and an Hai, 2 4th-stage True God Realm experts, were not Lu Ming's match even when they joined forces. If they went up, would they be looking for a beating? Lu, you must be joking, senior brother Lu. With your strength, you're more than enough to be the team leader. We're sincerely convinced. Not bad, we're convinced. The others quickly nodded and bowed. In the world of cultivation, the strong were respected. Since Lu Ming was stronger than them, they had to address him as senior brother even if he was only an outer sect disciple. Alright, since that's the case, I'll say this first. Since I'm the captain, you have to listen to my orders. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. Lu Ming said coldly. Of course, this is natural. The others nodded and bowed. Only the long-faced young man's expression became even gloomier. Get lost. Lu Ming waved his hands. Everyone felt as if they had been granted amnesty and they found a room to stay in one by one. Lu Ming also found a room to stay in. The next few days were very peaceful. Lu Ming was focused on cultivation. In the blink of an eye, 7 days had passed. 7 days later, the Ice Soul clan members who had received them earlier arrived again. Lu Ming and the others came to the courtyard. Everyone, the geniuses from the other sects are all here. The 9th young lord intends to let everyone meet and familiarize themselves with each other so that they can better cooperate in the future missions. The 9th young lord has prepared a banquet. Everyone follow me. The old man from the Ice Soul clan smiled. Senior, how many sects are partic? 1. P. Aiding this time? Lu Ming asked. Other than your Kong Xian sect, there are 5 other sections. One of them is the Yimo Academy, one of the 3 overlords. The old man from the Ice Soul clan explained. Unique Devil Academy. Lu Ming and Hai and the rest were shocked. What kind of mission was it this time? They had invited a total of 6 sects and even an overlord force. Senior, what is the mission this time? Lu Ming asked again. The others were also curious. They couldn't understand why the Ice Soul clan was so powerful that they had to ask for help when they couldn't complete the task on their own. Most importantly, they were just a group of young people. Any advanced stage true god expert from the Ice Soul clan would be able to suppress them. The 9th young master will explain this to you later. The Ice Soul clan elder smiled and did not explain further. The group followed the old man, and not long after, they arrived at an empty courtyard. The courtyard was huge, and there was a small lake in the middle of the courtyard. The strangest thing was that the water in the lake did not freeze at such a low temperature. There were already rows of seats by the lake. The seating arrangement was also very particular. It was divided into 7 areas. The topmost area had the most seats, and it was already filled with people. These people all had long, white hair and white eyes. One could tell at a glance that they were from the Ice Soul clan. The other 5 seats were also filled. Clearly, these people were from the other 5 sections. Everyone landed on the ground. The old man walked to the Ice Soul clan's seats and bowed to a young man in the middle. 9th young master, the people from the Kong Xian sect have arrived. The young man had long white hair and was very handsome. He was the 9th young master of the Ice Soul clan, Bing Qing. All right, you may leave. Bing Qing waved her hand. The old man from the Ice Soul clan and the others bowed and left. Lu Ming and Hai and the rest sized up the people from the other sections. They were all young people. The people from the other 5 sects and the Ice Soul clan were all young people. Judging from their life auras, they were all less than 10,000 years old. Suddenly, Lu Ming's eyes flickered and he looked at an area. This area was the area where the Unique Demon Academy was located. The Unique Demon Academy had the most people, a total of 18 people. Lu Ming recognized one of them. He was Huya, the genius of the Tiger clan who had fought with Lu Ming during the Qin Tian 13 clan's disciple recruitment test. While Lu Ming and the rest were sizing up the others were also sizing them up. Hee, the Kong Xian sect actually sent a Void God Realm cultivator for this mission. What a joke! Are they looking down on the Ice Soul clan and treating the mission as a joke? At this moment, a sharp voice rang out. It came from the Unique Demon Academy, and it was a youth from the Unique Demon Academy. The others also looked curious. Lu Ming did not deliberately hide his strength. The others could tell at a glance that Lu Ming's cultivation was at 8th level Void God Realm. The people who came to complete the mission this time were all geniuses above the True God Realm. Even the Ice Soul clan was surprised that the Kong Xian sect had sent a Void God Realm expert. Don't talk nonsense. When has the Kong Xian sect ever looked down on the Ice Soul clan? And Hai looked at the young man from the Unique Devil Academy and said in a displeased manner, "You still say you don't have it? Then why did they send a virtual god-level person? I think your Kong Xian sect is clearly trying to do this half-heartedly while still trying to earn a lot of benefits." The young man from the Unique Devil Academy sneered. The Kong Xian sect was the leader of the top 10 sections. Their strength had increased rapidly in recent years, and they were already threatening the position of the 3 overlord forces. Therefore, the 3 overlord forces did not have a good relationship with the Kong Xian sect. Now that the Yimo Academy had seized the opportunity, they naturally wanted to suppress the Kong Xian sect. You're farting. Your Unique Demon Academy is the one who is perfunctory. And Hai shouted, "What did you just say? Are you looking for abuse?" The young man from the Unique Demon Academy was not afraid at all, and a powerful aura rose from his body. "I'm not afraid of you." And Hai shouted, not backing down at all. The smell of gunpowder filled the air, and a great battle was about to break out. "Hai, you are all guests from afar. Why don't you all sit down and have a drink first?" At this moment, the 9th young master of the Ice Soul clan, Bing Qing, laughed and tried to smooth things over. He still had to give face to the 9th young master of the Ice Soul clan. The young man from the Unique Demon Academy concealed his aura and looked at Hai coldly. "For the sake of young Master Bing Qing, I'll spare you this time." It's still not certain who's going to let who off." And Hai said unhappily, Everyone from the Kong Xian sect, please take a seat." Bing Qing laughed again, then pointed to an empty seat. There were a total of 10 tables and chairs in this area, which was the same number as the 10 people from the Kong Xian sect. It was obvious that they had prepared this for the Kongxian sect. Chapter 27-25 Go and teach them a lesson. Moreover, these seats were also very particular. They were like fans, with the middle protruding and the two sides slightly facing back. Lu Ming and the other 10 walked to their seats. Lu Ming sat down in the middle seat while the rest sat on the two sides. The people from the other sects were stunned when they saw where Lu Ming and the rest were seated. That was because the middle seat was usually reserved for the captain. For the Ice Soul clan, the 9th young master, Bing Qing, sat in the middle. The people from the other sects who were sitting in the middle were the team leaders of this mission. Lu Ming was sitting in the middle. Did that not mean that Lu Ming was the leader of the 10 people from Kongxian sect? A virtual god level was the team leader? Ha, laughable, truly laughable. Your Kongxian sect actually let a void god realm person be the team leader. What a joke. The young man from the unique Devil Academy who had spoken earlier burst into laughter again. His voice was filled with ridicule. The way I see it, there's really no one left in the Kongxian sect. They actually let a void god realm person be the leader. I can see how useless the others are. How can such a sect be worthy of being the leader of the top 10 sects? The other young man from the unique Devil Academy also sneered. The other sects all had mocking expressions on their faces. This time, even Bing Qing and the young prodigy of the Ice Soul clan were displeased. It was fine to let a virtual god-level person follow them, but this virtual god-level person was actually the team leader. They were really looking down on the Ice Soul clan. Who did they think the Ice Soul clan was? They had invited the paragons of the Kongxian sect to help, but they had to give them a lot of benefits. Otherwise, how could Lu Ming and the others get 20,000 points each after completing the mission? The Ice Soul clan had given the Kongxian sect benefits, so the Kongxian sect would reward them with a large number of points. Now, letting a Nihility God stage expert be the team leader was just like what the young man from the unique Devil Academy had said. It was simply a perfunctory task. In the Kongxian sect, the long-faced young man, the purple-robed young man, and the others looked rather grim. They had already expected this to happen, which was why they wanted to snatch Lu Ming's team leader position. You're all fucking bullshitting. The captain of the Kongxian sect is naturally the strongest person. What do you know? Lu Ming did not say anything, but In Hai could not help but shout. The strongest person? An ethereal god realm expert is your strongest warrior? You're all trash, huh? The young men from the unique Demon Academy all laughed with a mocking expression. In my opinion, your Kongxian sect's Tli of being the top of the 10 top sects is completely undeserved. Why don't you just give it up? To the right of Lu Ming's group, a young man from a sect sneered. This sect was one of the Qin Heaven 13 sects, the Flowing Water sect. The Flowing Water sect could not be considered very strong among the Qin Tian 13 clans. It was ranked at the bottom. However, the Flowing Water sect had a very good relationship with the unique Demon Academy. They usually followed the unique Demon Academy's lead. Some people even joked that the Flowing Water sect was a dog of the unique Demon Academy. Kongxian sect had a conflict with the unique Demon Academy, so they naturally stood on the side of the unique Demon Academy. You're just a dog, what are you barking for? And Hai retorted very impolitely. What did you just say? A bunch of trash, I think you'd better get lost. Don't make a fool of yourself here. When you party 1p8 in the mission, you'll only drag us down. A dark-faced young man from the Flowing Water sect shouted. He then looked at Lu Ming in disdain and said, What's wrong? You're not convinced? If you're not convinced, then let's fight. Kid, I challenge you now. At the end of his sentence, the black-faced young man stood up and pointed at Lu Ming. Are you sure you want to challenge me? Lu Ming narrowed his eyes slightly. That's right, I want to challenge you. I'm not the leader of the Flowing Water sect. Now that I'm challenging you, do you dare to accept my challenge? The black-faced young man shouted. He seemed to be impetuous, but he was actually very smart. In his opinion, Lu Ming, who was only at the virtual god realm, would not be able to withstand a single blow. He was not the leader of the Flowing Water sect, but he had defeated the leader of the Kongxian sect. This was equivalent to him slapping the face of the Kongxian sect. Not only could he make himself famous, But he could also curry favor with the geniuses of the Yimo Academy. It was killing two birds with one stone. You don't have the right to make me attack you. And Hai, go and teach him a lesson. Make him kneel on the ground and apologize. Lu Ming picked up his GLA and took a sip slowly. Good, that's just what I want. And Hai's expression was ferocious as he strode toward the flowing water sect. Bing Qing's eyes flashed, but she didn't stop him. The geniuses of the unique Demon Academy were also watching with interest. Kid, kneel down. And Hai's footsteps quickened. Finally, he leaped into the air like a hawk and struck out with his palm toward the black-faced flowing water sect youth. The vast palm force was like an avalanche as it pressed towards the black-faced youth. The black-faced young man's expression changed as he continued to punch out with both his fists. His fist technique was like flowing water. When he had thrown dozens of punches, the sky was filled with fist shadows. The fist shadows converged into a large river that rushed toward Enhai. However, Enhai's cultivation was at stage 4 True God Realm, while this black-faced young man was only at stage 2 True God Realm. The difference was too great. Enhai's palm force pressed down, and the river of fist shadows that the black-faced young man had sent out collapsed. Boom! The force of the palm was like a mountain, pressing down on the black-faced young man's body. The black-faced young man screamed in pain and knelt on the ground with a plop. Impudent! You're looking for death! The other young men from the flowing water sect were enraged. They roared and charged toward Enhai, including the flowing water sect's captain. Good, all of you kneel down. Enhai revealed a malevolent expression. A long staff appeared in his hand and he swept it out, causing the void to explode with a terrifying boom. The sky full of stick shadows was like a mountain range, pressing down on the flowing water sect's heaven's favorites. The flowing water sect had a total of 6 youths coming here this time. But the strongest person was only at 3rd stage True God Realm. He was not in Hai's match at all. Bang, bang, bang. After a series of explosions, the flowing water sect disciples were all sent flying and coughed up blood. Only the captain was in a better state, but he was also sent flying and coughed up blood. Stage 4 True God Realm. The captain of the flowing water sect shouted, revealing a shocked expression. This time, those who came here had all cultivated for less than 10,000 years. It was absolutely rare to be able to cultivate to stage 4 True God within 10,000 years. The others were also shocked. They looked at Enhai with a grave expression. However, they couldn't figure out why Enhai wasn't the team leader of the Kongxian sect with his cultivation level. Instead, the team leader was someone at the 8th level of the Void God Realm. Could it be that the brat has a high status in the Kongxian sect and is the descendant of some important figure? Many people thought so. This was very possible. Otherwise, with Enhai and the rest's cultivation, why would they listen to Lu Ming and make him the team leader? How dare you criticize my Kongxian sect with your puny cultivation? Kneel down and apologize. Enhai's iron rod pressed down toward the flowing water sect's team leader. Chapter 2725 Fighting Huya again. Enhai's metal rod, under the control of his divine power, was like a steel mountain. It was extremely thick and filled with shocking power. Although the flowing water sect's captain had tried his best, the difference in cultivation was clear. He was completely outmatched and was forced to retreat. His body trembled and he kept coughing up blood. Kneel down. Enhai was extremely domineering. He pressed his iron rod down again, trying to force the flowing water sect's team leader to his knees. Enough! At this time, a cold voice came from the unique Demon Academy. It was the team leader of the unique Devil Academy. He was a young man with black demonic patterns on his face. As he spoke, the young man sitting next to him rushed out at an unbelievable speed. In the next moment, he appeared in front of the flowing water sect's team leader. A huge cauldron appeared in his hand. He waved it and smashed it toward Enhai's iron rod. Thump! An earth-shattering boom resounded, and the two figures were forced to take a few steps back. Enhai and the young man from the unique Devil Academy were equally matched in this exchange. Stage 4 True God Realm. Enhai licked his lips. His eyes became even more ferocious, and he revealed a strong desire to fight. Enhai had always been a warlike person. However, Enhai did not continue to attack. He knew that since the unique Demon Academy had made a move, it would be difficult to make the captain of the Flowing Water sect kneel. Your Kongxian sect is so imposing. You made the geniuses of other sects kneel in front of everyone. Are you trying to replace my unique Devil Academy and become the overlord? The team leader of the Yimo Academy said coldly. The moment he spoke, he had already accused the Kongxian sect. The team leader of the unique Devil Academy then looked at Lu Ming with a sharp gaze and said, also, as the captain, can you only hide behind others and give orders? I don't care who you are. It's one thing for you to act like a tyrant in the Kongxian sect, but it's ridiculous for you to act like a tyrant in front of the Yimo Academy. That's what you said. I didn't say anything. Lu Ming said indifferently. However, you have done it. Even if you want to beat a dog, you have to look at its master. You have to pay the price for injuring a member of the Flowing Water sect in front of me. Now, you better come out and apologize to me, to the Flowing Water sect, and to my Yimo Academy. The team leader of the unique Devil Academy stared at Lu Ming with a bone-chilling gaze, as if he wanted to pierce through Lu Ming. Apologize? You're thinking too much. The Flowing Water sect's defeat was purely their own doing. Lu Ming said indifferently as he continued to drink his wine. He looked calm, which made the team leader of the unique Devil Academy's eyes glint even colder. Good, good, good. The team leader of the unique Devil Academy said good 3 times and said coldly, then, what happens next is what you asked for. Tech, I want that kid to kneel. Boom, boom, boom. As the captain of the unique Demon Academy finished speaking, 7 or 8 people from the unique Demon Academy immediately stood up. Powerful auras erupted from their bodies. With a flash, they appeared in different directions. A few people stopped the long-faced young man from the Kongxian sect. The expressions of the long-faced young man and the others changed, but they did not attack in the end and just watched quietly. Get lost. Enhai, on the other hand, roared and swept his iron rod horizontally, trying to send the person in front of him flying. Behave yourself. In front of Enhai, the man with the cauldron waved it around. The cauldron was like a mountain, crashing toward Enhai. The two of them exchanged a few blows, but they were both equally matched. Enhai was being held back. With that, all the people from Kongxian sect were held back, and only Lu Ming was still drinking in his seat. Leave this brat to me. Back in the 13 clans, this assessment, this brat killed many of our Tigermen race's geniuses. Today, I'm going to make him kneel before me and repent. Huya suddenly stood up from his seat in the unique Demon Academy and stared at Lu Ming with a ferocious look. Oh, he's from the same batch as you? The team leader of the unique Devil Academy was also stunned. That's right. However, I suppressed my cultivation during the 13 clans test, so I couldn't use my full strength. Now is just right. Huya said savagely. All right, then I'll leave this kid to you. The team leader of the unique Devil Academy said. Boom. A powerful aura burst out from Huya's body and pressed toward Lu Ming. First level True God Realm. This was Huya's realm. Back then, during the Qin Heavenly 13 Clans assessment, Huya's cultivation was already at the 9th level of the Void God Realm. It wasn't surprising that he had broken through to the True God Realm in these few years. Lu Ming, get up and fight me. I want you to know what true combat strength is. Huya strode towards Lu Ming, his mouth wide with fangs and his face fierce. His body was like a mountain, and an ordinary person would probably be terrified by his aura. However, Lu Ming did not even spare Huya a glance. He said indifferently, I've already lost. I'm not interested in fighting. Let's find someone who can fight. Although Huya controlled divine-grade divine power and had powerful combat strength, Lu Ming's cultivation was already at 8th tier Void God Realm. He had improved greatly in all aspects and cultivated the universe Thousand Dao mantra. He did not think much of Huya. However, to Huya's ears, these words were a great insult. How arrogant! If it wasn't for the fact that my cultivation base was suppressed, I could have crushed you to death with a single finger. Huya bellowed. He took a step forward and appeared on Lu Ming's body. His huge palm grabbed at Lu Ming's head. He wanted to crush Lu Ming's head like a watermelon. As the huge hand pressed down, the energy was overwhelming. Lu Ming's seat and the food and wine on it shook violently. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. A wave of divine power spread out and enveloped the food and drinks on the table, making them motionless. Then, Lu Ming raised his hand and his fingers were like a spear, piercing forward. Lu Ming's fingers shot out a ray of spear light, which struck Huya's palm. Boom! The divine powers collided, and a huge boom erupted. Then, a painful roar was heard. A figure retreated, and the ground rumbled. The one who retreated was naturally Huya. Moreover, Y hole had appeared on his palm and blood was flowing out. At the scene, other than the people from Kong Xian sect, everyone else's eyes narrowed as they looked at Lu Ming in shock. Lu Ming sat still. He could actually pierce through Huya's palm with one move. How could he be so strong? It should be known that Lu Ming's cultivation was only at the 8th level of the virtual god realm, while Huya was already at the 1st level of the true god realm. Most importantly, Huya was not an ordinary person. He was a peerless genius who could control divine-grade divine power. Even in the unique demon academy, there were not many people like him. In the future, when he grew up, he would become the holy son of the unique demon academy and be qualified to compete for the position of the future dean of the unique demon academy. His own combat strength could not be measured by his cultivation. He could easily defeat opponents of a higher level. However, he was injured by Lu Ming, who was a realm higher than him. Even Huya himself was extremely shocked. He knew that his sacred grade divine power had been easily pierced through in the collision just now. Chapter 27:27 Lu Ming's outburst. Didn't you want me to see your battle prowess? This is your combat power? Lu Ming cast a disdainful look at Huya, his voice full of mockery. I don't believe that with my true God realm cultivation base, I would lose to an ethereal God realm expert. Tear me apart. Huya's eyes were blood red as he roared. The Shen power in his body boiled and his body swelled up. He had gained a full circle of weight. A tiger's roar shook the entire scene. Huya transformed into a half-human, half-tiger existence. With a stomp of his feet, he pounced at Lu Ming like a gust of wind. This was a secret technique of the Tigermen race. When used, one's combat strength would increase by a large margin. Many special races had their own innate secret techniques. Only those of that race could use them, and they had all kinds of profound mysteries. This was something that the human race could not compare to. Lu Ming became a little more serious. He stood up, a long spear condensed in his palm, and he swept it out. Boom! A huge spear ray swept towards Huya. Tear! The tiger's teeth roared. His nails were like blades as he continuously clawed at the spear radiance. Bang! 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 In the blink of an eye, the two of them had collided dozens of times. Huya's expression changed drastically, and within the fled groan, his body was thrown back. In mid-air, blood spurted out of his mouth. A disciple of the unique demon academy soared into the sky, caught Huya, and fell to the ground. Huya spat out a large mouthful of blood, his aura weak. He had already suffered heavy injuries and was unable to continue fighting. Can't even withstand a single blow. Lu Ming said indifferently, his voice filled with disdain. Hearing Lu Ming's words, Huya spat out another mouthful of blood. He was so angry. He had always thought that the reason he had lost to Lu Ming during the Qintian 13 clan assessment was because his cultivation had been suppressed. If his cultivation had not been suppressed, he could have crushed Lu Ming to death with a single finger. He did not expect that after a few decades he would be so vulnerable in front of Lu Ming. He was easily crushed by Lu Ming. It was really hard for him to bear. Brat, you dare to injure the disciples of my unique Devil Academy? How dare you? Let me fight you. With a loud roar, a bald young man rushed out of the unique Devil Academy. The aura that the bald young man exuded was extremely shocking. He was a 4th-stage true god genius, and his cultivation was no weaker than an heis. Boom! The bald young man rose into the air and his legs were like steel whips, sweeping toward Lu Ming. This person's leg technique was extremely impressive. Before the leg reached him, The terrifying force was already pressing down on Lu Ming with an overwhelming force. Lu Ming's spear swept out and collided with the bald youth's leg, causing a violent boom. The bald youth's figure drifted backward, while the long spear condensed by divine power in Lu Ming's hand trembled nonstop and almost collapsed. There's a divine artifact on his leg. Lu Ming squinted his eyes slightly. The other party was wearing a golden boot. It was a divine weapon with shocking power. Lu Ming did not use the divine weapon just now, so the long spear condensed by divine power almost collapsed. Lu Ming had a thought and a divine spear appeared in his hands. Heaven-fixing foot, heaven-fixing strike. The bald young man took a step back and stabilized himself in the air. Then he charged at Lu Ming, kicking out with both legs. His entire body was like a drill, blasting towards Lu Ming. Break the sky! Lu Ming launched an air-piercing strike. A dazzling spear radiance collided with the bald youth. The force spread in all directions. The bald youth was pushed back tens of thousands of meters. His body trembled and he spat out a mouthful of blood. He was injured. How is that possible? The others widened their eyes in disbelief. Lu Ming had actually injured the bald young man. The bald young man was a 4th stage true god and was also a Heaven's Pride expert. His combat strength was far from what Huya could compare to. However, such combat strength was not Lu Ming's match. An 8th-level ethereal god realm expert could suppress a 4th-level true god realm heaven's favorite. What kind of freak was this? Everyone finally knew why Lu Ming was able to become the team leader of the Kong Xian sect. It was because he had the ability. Previously, Enhai had said loudly that Lu Ming could become the team leader of the Kong Xian sect because he was the most powerful. However, no one believed him at that time and thought that Enhai was just bragging. Now, they knew that what Enhai said was the truth. How is that possible? Huya could not believe his eyes. He controlled the sacred grade divine power and prided himself on being a peerless talent. To him, it was a common occurrence to fight those of a higher level. However, he realized that he was nothing compared to Lu Ming. This kid, the pupils of the team leader of the unique Devil Academy also contracted, and he revealed a shocked expression. This level of combat strength was truly shocking. Even the divine sons of the 3 overlord forces wouldn't have such terrifying combat strength in a battle of the same level. Interesting, very interesting. Bing Qing, the 9th young master of the Ice Soul clan, had a glint in her eyes. The geniuses of the unique Devil Academy are only SOSO. Lu Ming said calmly. Kid, don't be arrogant. They'll fight you. Take this. The geniuses from the unique Demon Academy were furious. Immediately, 2 young men rushed up and attacked Lu Ming. These 2 young men were also at the 4th stage True God realm. The Yimo Academy was indeed worthy of being one of the 3 overlord sects in the Qin Heaven Star region. They were indeed powerful and had 4 4th stage true god geniuses. It should be known that only Enhai and the long-faced young man were at true god stage 4 in Kong Xian sect. Of course, it could not be ruled out that there were geniuses from the major sects who had cultivated for less than 10,000 years. It was just that they had not come. However, this also showed how powerful the unique Devil Academy was. The 2 4th stage true god geniuses, one on the left and one on the right, launched a fierce attack on Lu Ming. Their divine skills had been cultivated to the 3rd stage and the power was very shocking. At the same time, the bald young man from before also burst out with all his strength. His feet stepped in the void and his figure appeared above Lu Ming. He looked down from above and stomped down. The 3 experts joined forces to deal with Lu Ming and launched their strongest attack at the same time. The power of the attack changed drastically. Even an ordinary stage 5 true god or even stage 6 true god would be terrified and avoid the attack, let alone an 8th stage ethereal god. However, Lu Ming's expression was calm. At this moment, his fighting spirit soared into the sky, and an even stronger power burst out of his body. The battle formula, which tripled his combat power, was activated. 3 apocalyptic strikes, break the sky. With the enhancement of the battle character formula, which tripled his combat power, Lu Ming cast the 3 apocalyptic strikes. Bush, bush, bush. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming had stabbed 3 times. The 3 spear shadows rushed up and split into 3 directions, piercing toward the 3 young geniuses of the unique Demon Academy. Boom, boom, boom. There was a violent explosion, and it was as if 3 stars had exploded in the sky. Lose. Lu Ming let out a long howl. In the midst of his howl, the 3 figures retreated rapidly, flying thousands of meters away, their bodies covered in blood. Chapter 27-28 T for tat. They were defeated. All 3 geniuses of the unique Demon Academy had been defeated. Each of them had a gunshot wound on their chest. The wound went through their chest and blood was flowing out. The 3 of them were pale and their breathing was weak. Their faces were filled with deep shock. In that instant just now, they had almost thought that they were dead for sure. The others were also shocked. It was 1 against 3 and Lu Ming had actually won. This combat strength could no longer be described as shocking. Even Bing Qing, who was experienced and knowledgeable, had a deep shock in her eyes. The people from the other sects gasped. Is there anyone else who wants to fight in the unique Devil Academy? Lu Ming held the gun in one hand and swept his gaze across the people from the unique Demon Academy. He was unparalleled in his demeanor. I didn't expect the Kong Xian sect to have someone like you. That's good. I'll meet you personally today. A cold voice sounded. It was the captain of the unique Devil Academy. He had been sitting in his seat the entire time. At this moment, he suddenly stood up from his seat. Boom. An extremely terrifying aura burst out from this person, and a vast pressure filled the void. Plop. Someone actually couldn't withstand this pressure and directly sat on the ground. Everyone felt as if a huge mountain was pressing down on them. This aura. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed slightly, revealing a hint of solemnity. The captain of the unique Devil Academy was definitely a terrifying figure. Stage 5 True God Realm. This was the cultivation that the team leader of the unique Devil Academy had revealed. However, the feeling that he gave off was much stronger than the other Stage 4 True God Realm experts. For example, even if an high reached Stage 5 True God Realm, it was impossible for him to give off such a strong pressure. The divine power that this person controlled was divine-grade divine power. Without a doubt, this was a top heaven's favorite. His battle power wasn't something that Huya could compare to. Huya was only at Stage 1 True God, while this person was already at Stage 5. A powerful aura burst out from Lu Ming's body. His entire person was like a straight divine spear, showing off its sharp edge. Boom. Their auras collided in the air, and the air exploded like thunder. The terrifying pressure made all the seats shake as if they were going to explode at any time. Many people hurriedly circulated their divine power to protect themselves. At the same time, they were on high alert. They knew that once Lu Ming started a fight with the team leader of the unique Devil Academy, the destructive power would be extremely shocking. The 9th young master of the Ice Soul clan looked around and suddenly stood up. He took a step forward and appeared between Lu Ming and the team leader of the unique Demon Academy. An icy aura emanated from his body. This cold aura was extremely terrifying, as if it wanted to freeze everything in the world. The aura of Lu Ming and the team leader of the unique Devil Academy seemed to be frozen by this aura. They could not help but restrain their auras. What terrifying strength! Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. Bing Qing's strength was probably above the team leader of the unique Demon Academy. Can the 2 of you give me some face and forget about today's matter? Bing Qing said. Previously, he did not stop them because he wanted to see their strength. However, the situation was getting more and more serious. If the Kong Xian sect and the Yimo Academy were to fight, it would be disadvantageous for the mission later. Therefore, he stood up to stop them. The unique Demon Academy looked at Bing Qing with a grave expression. He could not see through Bing Qing's cultivation, and it gave him a strong pressure. Kid, you're lucky today. I hope your luck will always be this good. The team leader of the unique Demon Academy cast a cold glance at Lu Ming. A wisp of killing intent flashed in the depths of his eyes. He was shocked that Kong Xian sect had produced a prodigy like Lu Ming. We can't let this person live. The team leader of the unique Demon Academy thought. The Kongxian sect was the leader of the top 10 sections. Over the years, they had become more and more powerful and were already a threat to the three overlords. Therefore, a prodigy like Lu Ming could not be left alive. Once he grew up, he would be even more terrifying. Lu Ming smiled faintly, then turned around and returned to his seat. Bing Qing and the rest also returned to their seats. Thank you for coming today. I believe that everyone is curious about the mission this time. Now, I will briefly explain the mission. The mission this time is to go to one of the Ice Soul Clan's ancestral lands and retrieve a treasure called the Ice Jade Heart. There are powerful restrictions on the way to the ancestral land, especially the time restriction. Only those under 10,000 years old can enter. Bing Qing said. Everyone came to a sudden realization. No wonder all the major sects sent people under 10,000 years old. So this was the reason. Therefore, with the Ice Soul Clan's strength, they would ask for help from the major sections. However, the Ice Soul Clan's strength was limited when it came to prodigies under 10,000 years old. There must be danger in your ancestral land, right? Someone asked. Of course. It's recorded in the ancient books that there are desolate beasts inside. Otherwise, the Ice Soul Clan wouldn't have paid such a huge price. If any of you are afraid and don't want to go, you can go back now. The Ice Soul Clan will send someone to send you back. Bing Qing smiled. Everyone was silent. They had already expected that there would be danger. Otherwise, the reward would not be so high. The Kongxian sect was rewarded with 20,000 points, and the other sects were offering similar rewards. Alright, since no one is backing out, we'll leave in 3 days. Let's drink. Bing Qing smiled and everyone began to toast and drink. After 3 rounds of wine, everyone took their leave. You guys can go back first, I still have things to do. Lu Ming instructed and Hai and the rest. And Hai and the rest nodded and left. Soon, only Lu Ming and a few members of the Ice Soul Clan were left. Brother Lu, do you have anything else? Bing Qing looked at Lu Ming. I do have something to ask you, 9th young lord. Lu Ming said. He wanted to ask Bing Qing about the whereabouts of the Cold Moonstone and if possible, buy some. Oh, you guys can leave. Bing Qing waved at the other members of the Ice Soul Clan, and they left. Brother Lu, what's the matter? Please speak. Bing Qing laughed. 9th young master, Lu Ming would like to ask if the Ice Soul Clan has Cold Moonstones? Lu Ming asked directly. Cold Moonstone. Bing Qing's expression changed slightly before she nodded. That's right. The Ice Soul Clan does have Cold Moonstones. There really is. Lu Ming was overjoyed. 9th young master, can you sell a few Cold Moonstones to Lu Ming? Lu Ming said. Sell it to you? This might not work. The 9th young master shook his head slightly. You can't sell it? Lu Ming was stunned. That's right, Brother Lu. To tell you the truth, the Cold Moonstone is an extremely precious treasure even in the Ice Soul Clan. Moreover, every piece used is one less piece. Even now, there are very few Cold Moonstones in the Ice Soul Clan. They're all kept in the treasure vault by the important figures of my clan. It's very difficult for me to get even one. Bing Qing smiled bitterly. Chapter 2729 Cold Moonstones Whereabouts Lu Ming was greatly disappointed. He had thought that even if there were not many Cold Moonstones in the Ice Soul Clan, there would not be a lot of them. He did not expect that Cold Moonstones were extremely precious treasures even in the Ice Soul Clan. Even Bing Qing had a hard time getting her hands on one, so it would be impossible for him to buy some. It seems that if I want to cultivate the ice shackles to the large success stage, I can only find a replacement treasure in the future. Lu Ming sighed in his heart. In order to cultivate the ice shackles to large success, Cold Moonstones were not the only things that could be used. Other precious cold attribute materials could also be used, but most of them were extremely precious. Brother Lu, if you really want to get the Cold Moonstone, there's a way. Bing Qing suddenly changed the topic. What is it? Lu Ming's eyes lit up slightly. To tell you the truth, Brother Lu, most of the Cold Moonstones of the Ice Soul Clan came from the ancestral land. However, the ancestral land was closed for some reason countless years ago and was filled with powerful restrictions. It took a long time for the restrictions to weaken so that outsiders could enter. This time, Brother Lu, if you're lucky, you might be able to get some cold moonstones. Our main goal in entering the ancestral land this time is to obtain the Ice Jade Cold Heart. However, we also have another goal, which is to obtain some cold moonstones to bring out. Bingqing said. So the cold moonstone came from the Ice Soul Clan's ancestral land. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He was full of anticipation for this trip to the Ice Soul Clan's ancestral land. He had to get a few cold moonstones. Brother Lu, if you can find the cold moonstone in the ancestral land, it's yours. You can take it away. Bingqing added. Thank you, ninth young master. Lu Ming cupped his fists in thanks and then left. 3 days passed by in a flash. 3 days later, everyone gathered again. The geniuses of the 6 major sects, including the Yimo Academy and the Kong Xian sect, and half of the geniuses of the Ice Soul Clan, added up to nearly 100 people. The Ice Soul Clan itself had about 50 people. It could be said that all the top masters under the age of 10,000 years of the Ice Soul Clan had come. The Ice Soul Clan was naturally led by the 9th young master, Bingqing. Everyone, please follow me. Bingqing said as she flew in a direction. Everyone followed her and arrived at a large teleportation formation. The territory of the Ice Soul Clan was very vast. There were more than 80 galaxies and countless vital planets. Their ancestral land was a long way from the Ice Soul Star. There were already dozens of figures at the side of the teleportation array. These figures were all dressed in white robes. There were men and women, but they were all very old. Greetings, clan elders. Bingqing and the Ice Soul Clan's elites saluted the old men. These old men were the elders of the Ice Soul Clan. They were definitely terrifying experts. Everyone's here, right? Let's go, said an elder of the Ice Soul Clan. He stepped into the teleportation formation first, followed by the rest of the elders. Why did he need so many experts from the Ice Soul Clan? This thought flashed through many people's minds. Then, they all stepped into the teleportation array. The teleportation array flashed and everyone disappeared. After half a month of teleportation, they arrived on a barren planet. Then, an elder of the Ice Soul Clan took out a large interplanetary warship. They boarded the warship and flew for a few more days. In front of them, a strange place appeared. There were countless huge rocks floating in the universe in front of him. These rocks seemed to be formed by the explosion of a planet. They were suspended in the air. From a distance, these rocks seemed to form a road that led to the front. This was the ancestral land of the Ice Soul Clan. The elder kept the starship and they stood in space. However, a layer of light appeared on Lu Ming and the others, enveloping them. True gods couldn't stay in the universe for long, so the light curtain was set up by the elders of the Ice Soul Clan. The Ice Soul Clan's ancestral land is in the depths of these broken rocks. Let's wait a moment. We need to pass through these broken rocks to enter the ancestral land. Bingqing introduced. Pass through these broken rocks? We're all at the true god stage, but it's hard for true gods to stay in the universe for long. Someone's expression changed. In front of him, those huge broken stones were suspended in the starry sky. It was no different from being directly exposed to the universe. Don't worry. This rocky area was formed by the explosion of a real-life planet in the distant past. It's full of powerful restrictions, but also because of the restrictions, the environment of this rocky area is similar to a life planet. As long as you're under 10,000 years old, you can enter. Bingqing explained, and everyone heaved a sigh of relief. All right, you can go in now. Bingqing, you have to remember that you only have half a year. After half a year, the restriction here will be strengthened again. By then, you won't be able to come out even if you want to. Remember, regardless of whether you have completed the mission or not, you have to come out within half a year. Do you understand? One of the elders warned Bingqing. Understood. Bingqing nodded, then in a flash, he rushed towards the area of broken rocks and stood on a huge piece of broken rock. Buzz. Buzz. Whoosh. The others moved as well. They rushed out one after another and stood on the crushed stones. It's indeed similar to other life planets. Lu Ming landed on a piece of gravel and his heart skipped a beat. The environment here was similar to a life planet. There was also air and even divine qi, but the gravity here was much lower. Let's go! Bing Qing was the first to rush into the depths of the gravel area. They jumped on the gravel at an amazing speed. Soon, more than 100 people disappeared from the sight of the Ice Soul Clan's elder. I hope this trip will be successful. A clan elder sighed. The Ice Jade Heart was extremely important to the Ice Soul Clan. However, a great turmoil had occurred in the Ice Soul Clan a long time ago. A tragic war had broken out, and the Ice Soul Clan's ancestral land had almost collapsed. Since then, a terrifying restriction had formed outside the Ice Soul Clan's ancestral land, preventing others from entering. Only after waiting for a long time would the restriction on the Ice Soul Clan's ancestral land weaken. Only those under 10,000 years old would be able to enter. In the distant past, they had sent people in, but they had failed. If they failed again this time, they didn't know how many years they would have to wait. They're here. Suddenly, an elder of the Ice Soul Clan looked in a certain direction. His eyes were filled with killing intent. The other elders of the Ice Soul Clan also looked in that direction with cold eyes. A huge Starry Sky battleship rushed over from that direction. As it approached, the Starry Sky battleship stopped. A group of people appeared in the Starry Sky. The people in the lead were also a group of elders, but their skin was red, and they exuded a scorching aura that seemed to set the Starry Sky on fire. Chapter 27:30 Entering the Ice Soul Clan's ancestral land, the Red Flame Tribe. These people were all powerhouses of the Red Flame Tribe. In the Qin Heaven Star Zone, apart from the Qin Heaven 13 clans, there were two clans that were the strongest. They were the Ice Soul Clan and the Scarlet Flame Clan. Each of these two clans was stronger than any single overlord sect. The two great races together occupied a small half of the Qin Tian Galaxy's territory. Moreover, the Ice Soul Clan and the Scarlet Flame Clan had never been on good terms. They had been competing with each other for countless years. The Ice Soul Clan wanted to obtain the Ice Jade Cold Heart from the ancestral land, but the Scarlet Flame Clan would not allow it. Every time, the Red Flame Tribe would send someone to stop them. Behind some of the elders of the Red Flame Tribe, there was a group of young experts. In addition to this group of young experts of the Red Flame Tribe, there was also a group of young Heaven's favorites who were not from the Red Flame Tribe. If Lu Ming was here, he would definitely recognize a few familiar faces. The Golden Sage of the Vajra race and Yang Chong. The two of them had competed with Lu Ming during the Qin Tian 13 clans assessment. Later on, the Golden Sage joined the Indestructible Sword sect, one of the three overlords, while Yang Chong joined the Boundless Holy Land. Needless to say, these youths were all from the other sects of the Qin Heavenly 13 clans. The geniuses of the Indestructible Sword sect and the Boundless Holy Land were all here. Red Flame Tribe, you've come. An elder of the Ice Soul Clan said coldly. You want to get the heart of Ice Jade and suppress my Scarlet Flame Tribe? It's not that easy. An old man from the Scarlet Flame Clan sneered. Don't even think of stopping me. The elder of the Ice Soul Clan said coldly, and a powerful aura burst out of his body. Boom, boom, boom. The dozens of elders of the Ice Soul Clan released a shocking aura at the same time. The aura was filled with a terrifying chill. The space where they were in was instantly frozen and the ice spread toward the Scarlet Flame Clan. Small tricks, melt it. The elder of the Red Flame Tribe shouted. Then, all the experts of the Red Flame Tribe burst into flames. The entire starry sky was about to burn. Boom, boom, boom. One side was icy cold while the other side was scorching hot. The two sides continued to clash, causing the starry sky to shake violently. Well, block the Ice Soul Clan's old farts. You guys charge into that area. The overlords of the Red Flame Clan roared and attacked the elder of the Ice Soul Clan with various attacks. Kill! The elders of the Ice Soul Clan roared and attacked. The two sides engaged in an intense battle, and the scene was extremely shocking. If the two sides fought on a life planet, it would probably cause a destructive disaster. A battle between such figures was too terrifying. Even a wisp of energy that leaked out could destroy a small world like the Heaven Realm and the Primordial Realm. Charge! As the powerhouses from both sides fought, the Scarlet Flame race and the other sects, Heaven's favorites, took the opportunity to rush into the rocky area. Deep in it. The elders of the Ice Soul clan shouted, but they were helpless. The Ice Soul clan had gone through a great turmoil countless years ago. Now, their strength was no longer as strong as the Red Flame clan. The Red Flame clan had come prepared. If they stopped the Ice Soul clan, they could let the others take the opportunity to rush into the rocky area. They could not stop them. Seeing those young men rush into the area of broken stones, the two sides fought for a while more, then both retreated and faced each other. Humph, even if they rush into the area of broken rocks, they might not be able to stop the prodigy of my Ice Soul clan. An elder of the Ice Soul clan snorted. Oh, that might not be the case. An old man from the Scarlet Flame tribe sneered. The prodigies of the Scarlet Flame race and the other sects of the Qin Heavenly 13 clans continued to move forward the moment they entered the area of broken rocks. They only stopped after going a long way. Why didn't you continue? One of the Immortal Sword sect's elite asked. There's no rush. We can't enter the Ice Soul clan's true ancestral land. Moreover, it's dangerous inside. Let's wait here. When the Ice Soul clan enters the ancestral land, even if they manage to obtain the Ice Jade Cold Heart, they'll be greatly injured. We'll wait here and catch them off guard. We can kill them easily. A tall and STU, R.D.Y. young man from the Red Flame tribe said. Brilliant plan. The others gasped in admiration. Then, they set up a concealment array in this area. Lu Ming and the group were moving forward and did not know what happened after that. This rocky area was very long. They had no idea how many miles they had traveled. The distance they had traveled could be measured in hundreds of millions of miles. These were formed from the explosion of a life planet. One could only imagine how long it had been. After 6 or 7 days of traveling, they had reached the end of the rocky area. A huge light screen appeared in front of them, blocking their way. Behind this light screen is my clan's ancestral land. Only the token of my clan can open it. Bing Qing explained, and then took out a statue. The statue was only a foot tall, and it seemed to be carved out of ice. It was crystal clear and exuded a bone-piercing chill. Bing Qing held up the statue and let it float in the air. Her hands formed a mysterious seal, and runes entered the statue. Buzz. The statue began to shake and emit a bright light. The bone-piercing chill became even stronger. Many people shivered and used their martial arts to resist it. The light screen on the statue seemed to resonate with the light screen. The light screen trembled slightly, and a vortex appeared on the light screen. Quick, go in! Bing Qing shouted. The Ice Soul clan's paragon rushed into the vortex first, followed by Lu Ming and the others. In the end, only Bing Qing was left. Bing Qing grabbed the statue and rushed into the whirlpool, and the whirlpool slowly disappeared. After Lu Ming rushed into the vortex, he appeared on a mountain peak. To be more precise, it was an ice mountain. He looked around and found an Hai and the others beside him. It's so cold. Someone shuddered and his voice trembled. The temperature of this world was shockingly low. Even a true God Realm expert would feel a bone-chilling cold when a gust of cold wind blew over. They would have to use their divine power to resist it. Everyone looked into the distance, and what they saw was a patch of white. The snow was white, and the snow-white icebergs stretched as far as the eye could see. However, Lu Ming had cultivated the divine power of frost. This kind of environment did not affect him at all. On the contrary, he felt very comfortable. He activated the divine power of extreme cold. Between heaven and earth, wisps of cold air gathered towards him and were refined into the divine power of extreme cold. Cultivating in this place, those who cultivated cold attribute divine power would cultivate much faster. Ninth young lord, where is the icy jade heart that you're looking for? This world seems to be very big. Someone asked Bing Qing. I have a map here. An ice jade talisman appeared in Bing Qing's hand. She injected some divine power into it, and the jade talisman lit up. A map appeared in the air. Chapter 2731 Frost Jade Ice Phoenix. Everyone looked at the map carefully. At the southernmost part of the map, there was a red dot that was shining. This red dot is our current location. Also, the center of the map is our destination. Bing Qing explained and pointed to the center of the map. There was a sign there. It was the sign of an ice mountain at the center of the map. Remember this map first. If we get separated later on, we'll meet up at the center. Also, we'll meet here within half a year and leave together. Bing Qing said. Everyone immediately focused their attention on the map and memorized it. Almost everyone who had reached the true God realm had a photographic memory. Soon, everyone memorized the map. Let's go! Bing Qing kept the map and everyone flew towards the north. Ooh! The cold wind was bone-piercing and the temperature was shockingly low. However, there were still living beings in this world despite the low temperature. All sorts of plants grew on the mountains and in the valleys. Some were as white as jade, some were as red as fire, and some were as green as jade. In the valley, one could occasionally see the figures of some creatures flashing past. Everyone secretly praised her. Nature was indeed full of wonders. Very quickly, they had flown over 10 million miles away. However, there was still a long way to go before they reached the center. Buzz. At this moment, a sharp, ear-piercing sound was heard. Then, a beam of white light shot into the sky from an ice mountain, bringing with it a whistling cold wind as it pounced toward Lu Ming and the rest. That is, the phoenix. When everyone saw the white light, they were shocked. The body of the white light was a snow-white bird, which looked exactly like the divine beast phoenix. It's the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix. Be careful! Bing Qing shouted. Gah! The Frost Jade Ice Phoenix's speed was astonishingly fast. In the blink of an eye, it had arrived. With a flap of its wings, ice crystals that looked like ice swords flew towards Lu Ming and the rest. The power was terrifying. Everyone took action, circulating their divine power to resist. A long spear appeared in Lu Ming's hands. He swept the spear at one of the ice crystals. Buzz! The ice crystals were shattered by Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming's expression changed. He found that the power of the ice crystal was shockingly strong. As expected, some of the weaker cultivators were forced back by the ice crystals and spat out large mouthfuls of blood. Gah! The cold jade ice phoenix screeched and flapped its wings continuously. Countless ice crystals, bringing with them a cold wind, swept towards them. He'll kill you. A voice sounded. It was the captain of the unique Devil Academy. This person was called Lu Shangkai. Pitch-black divine power burst out of his body as he threw a few punches in succession. Lu Shangkai, as the captain of the unique Devil Academy, controlled a divine grade power, and his combat strength was definitely terrifying. He punched out a few times, and a few fist forces crushed out, shattering a large number of ice crystals. Buzz! Lu Shangkai turned into a black light and rushed toward the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix. Holy Demon Divine Seal! Lu Shankai's cold voice was heard. The black marks on his face glowed with a bright black light, then formed a huge black seal and pressed down on the Ice Phoenix. Gah! The Frost Jade Ice Phoenix let out an angry cry and opened its mouth to shoot out a white beam of light, clashing with the seal that Lu Shangkai had thrown out. Boom! The two of them exploded with a shocking boom. The pillar of light shot out by the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix was shattered. However, the power of Lu Shankai's seal was also greatly reduced. It continued to suppress the Ice Phoenix. The Frost Jade Ice Phoenix spread its wings, which were like ice blades, and flapped. Boom! Lu Shankai's seal exploded, and he was sent flying backward. The seals on his face were bleeding as if they had cracked. Lu Shangkai was actually no match for the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix. Many people were shocked. Lu Shankai's strength was absolutely amazing, but he still couldn't defeat the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix. If the others went up, they would only die. After forcing Lu Shangkai back, the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix flapped her wings and turned into a white light as she pounced towards the crowd. Get lost! At this moment, Bing Qing made her move. Her entire body seemed to have turned into a sword light, emitting an icy cold aura. The Frost Jade Ice Phoenix's wings slashed out like blades, clashing with Bing Qing's sword light. Thump! The Frost Jade Ice Phoenix and Bing Qing retreated at the same time. However, the two of them continued to fight fiercely. They exchanged more than 10 moves in a row, but it was difficult to determine the winner. I blocked it. The others were overjoyed, but at the same time, Bing Qing's strength shocked them. Bing Qing's combat strength was even above Lu Shankai's. Ga. The Frost Jade Ice Phoenix couldn't take the battle down and let out an angry cry. Her attacks became more and more violent, but Bing Qing's combat strength was extremely strong. She completely blocked the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix and even gained the upper hand. However, at this moment, everyone's expression changed drastically. That was because a sharp cry was heard in the surrounding area. Then, from some of the ice mountains, figures rushed out. Frost Jade Ice Phoenixes, all of them were Frost Jade Ice Phoenixes. At a glance, there were a total of 8 of them. With the one from before, there were 9 of them. The 8 behind had huge bodies and wingspans of over 200 meters. Their auras were extremely terrifying and were definitely not any weaker than the one before. Everyone's expression became extremely ugly. With so many Frost Jade Ice Phoenixes appearing all at once, how could they fight? The cries of the 8 Frost Jade Ice Phoenixes resounded through the firmament. They flapped their wings and dense ice crystals shot towards Lu Ming and the others. Block it, attack! Someone shouted. Everyone used their full strength to block the ice crystals. Push. Lu Ming kept swinging his long spear. In an instant, dozens of ice crystals were pierced. Lu Ming's figure also drifted backward. The power of these ice crystals was very shocking. There were a few consecutive screams, but not everyone could block them. A few young men had their bodies pierced by ice crystals and were frozen. Then, with a bang, they exploded into pieces. On the side of Kong Xian sect, they did not suffer any losses. Lu Ming had blocked dozens of ice crystals alone earlier, sharing a large amount of the pressure. But at this moment, the Frost Jade Ice Phoenixes were already approaching. Go, quickly go! At this moment, Bing Qing had repelled the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix with a single strike and was charging towards Lu Ming and the rest. The group gathered and charged in a direction without the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix. Ga. A total of 9 Frost Jade Ice Phoenixes chased after Lu Ming and the others. The two sides, one chasing and one escaping, flew tens of thousands of miles in the blink of an eye. However, the 9 Frost Jade Ice Phoenixes were still in hot pursuit. Everyone's expression was gloomy. They didn't expect to be so unlucky. They had just entered and they had already encountered 9 such terrifying Frost Jade Ice Phoenixes. This won't do. If we continue like this, the 9 Frost Jade Ice Phoenixes will catch up to us sooner or later. At that time, we'll be surrounded and blocked. Only death will await us. Someone said. Then what? Someone asked. Let's split up. Bing Qing spoke and made her decision. Split up. The others' expressions also changed. Chapter 2731 Relentless Pursuit. That's right, let's split up. Bing Qing repeated, there are only 9 Frost Jade Ice Phoenixes. Let's split up into a dozen groups. This way, at least a portion of us won't be chased by the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix. Also, if the Frost Jade Ice Phoenixes split up and chase us, it will be easier for us to escape. At least we won't be surrounded. Then, what if the 9 Frost Jade Ice Phoenixes didn't split up, but instead joined together to pursue a group of people? Someone asked. Then it can only be said that that group of people is unlucky. Bing Qing said. Some people's faces paled and looked a little unsightly. If they split up and escaped, the 9 Frost Jade Ice Phoenixes would focus on the same group of people and only death would await them. I agree. Let's split up. Lu Shankai was the first to speak. I also agree. Then, Lu Ming also spoke. The team leaders of 2 sects had agreed, and Binking's side had obviously agreed as well. The other sects could only agree. Alright, how do we split it? We'll decide on our own. When we get separated, we'll meet at the center of the map. Bing Qing ordered. More than 50 Ice Soul Clan's geniuses were divided into 12 teams and scattered in all directions. Lu Ming and the rest also spread out. Each of the sects split into teams and randomly chose a direction to fly in. The 10 people from the Kong Xian sect gathered together. In this way, there were 12 teams from the Ice Soul Clan and 18 teams in total, including the 6 sections. And there were only 9 Frost Jade Ice Phoenixes, so it was naturally impossible for them to chase after 18 teams at the same time. The 9 Frost Jade Ice Phoenixes cried out a few times and split up into 9 different directions, chasing after 9 of the teams. They didn't chase us. That's great. We're lucky, run. 9 of the teams were not pursued by the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix, and they were immediately overjoyed. They increased their speed and fled forward. They're chasing us. How unlucky. The teams that were being chased all had ugly expressions on their faces, but fortunately, there was only one chasing them, so there was still hope of escape. Lu Ming and the others were also being chased by a Frost Jade Ice Phoenix. What bad luck. The long-faced young man cursed as he used all his divine power to fly. They were very clear about the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix's strength. It was too powerful. Even the team leader of the unique demon academy, Lu Shangkai, was not its match. They were most likely no match for it either. They could only try their best to shake off the other party or hope that the other party would not pursue them relentlessly. The two sides, one chasing and one escaping, had been running for a full 2 hours. They had no idea how far they had run, but the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix was still chasing them. Furthermore, because they had been flying for a long time, they had used up a lot of their divine power, while the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix seemed to have an endless supply of energy. The distance between them was slowly closing. If this continued, it was only a matter of time before he was caught. What do we do? If I really can't, I'll fight it to the death. A few Kong Xian sect disciples roared in anger. It was impossible for anyone else to come to their rescue. At this moment, they had long since separated from the other sections. You guys go first, I'll block him. Lu Ming suddenly spoke. What? The others were all stunned. Lu Ming wanted to stay behind and fend off the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix alone? Although Lu Ming was powerful, he was definitely not a match for the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix. Previously, Lu Shankai's strength was shocking enough, but he was still at a disadvantage. Lu Ming was most likely no match for it. Buzz. Lu Ming's flying figure suddenly stopped. When the other members of Kong Xian sect saw this, they gritted their teeth and continued flying forward. Gah! The cold Jade Ice Phoenix screeched. It glared at Lu Ming with its sharp and cold eyes as it approached him quickly. Come on! Lu Ming muttered. A powerful fighting spirit emanated from his body. The battle character art tripled his combat power and exploded. Lu Ming did not stop because he was willing to sacrifice himself for others. The reason he stopped was that Hai was a good person, and Lu Ming did not want him to die at the hands of the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix. Moreover, Lu Ming had stayed because he was confident that he could escape. If Lu Ming was not confident that he could escape, he would not stay. Let me see how strong you are. Lu Ming narrowed his eyes and activated the 9-stage Crimson Gold Armor. A Crimson Gold Armor appeared. 3 apocalyptic strikes, break the sky. Lu Ming used his strongest move, becoming one with the spear, and turned into a dazzling spear ray, stabbing at the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix. Gah! The cold Jade Ice Phoenix cried out. Its body was covered in a thick layer of ice armor. Under the boost of its terrifying speed, it was like a sharp sword that pierced through the void. A sword light and a spear light collided with each other at an extremely high speed. Boom! And NBSP with a terrifying boom, the two forces collided, creating shockwaves that spread in all directions. Lu Ming felt a terrifying force rushing towards him. His body trembled violently as he was pushed back by this force. He only stopped after flying a few hundred miles. What powerful strength! Lu Ming felt the blood in his body churning and a trace of blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. Lu Ming was at a complete disadvantage in the clash just now. The Frost Jade Ice Phoenix's strength was beyond Lu Ming's imagination. If he had not activated the 9-layered crimson gold armor in advance, his injuries would have been even more severe. Moreover, Lu Ming also controlled the ultimate cold divine power, so the ultimate cold chi of the Ice Phoenix was ineffective against him. Otherwise, if it were someone else, they would have been more seriously injured. Gah! The Frost Jade Ice Phoenix let out a cry and continued to charge towards Lu Ming. Again! Lu Ming charged at the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix once again, unleashing his divine power to the maximum. Although the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix's strength was strong, it still couldn't kill him in an instant. It could only cause him some light injuries. This way, it could be used to hone his divine skills. The 9 Heavenly Kuan Peng technique. In the process of charging out, Lu Ming cast the 9 Heavenly Kuan Peng technique. His entire person seemed to have transformed into a Kuan Peng, soaring up 90,000 miles. Bang! Lu Ming and the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix collided once again. This time, Lu Ming was forced back as usual. Blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. His injuries were more serious, but it was not a big deal. Lu Ming took out a healing divine pill that he had bought long ago and swallowed it. Once again, he unleashed all his divine power and cast 3 divine skills at the same time, attacking the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix. The amount of divine power consumed by casting 3 divine skills at the same time was shocking. With Lu Ming's current cultivation, the divine power in his body was depleted after a few attacks. However, Lu Ming had the Quant 1 Tai formula. The Quant 1 Tai formula stored a large amount of divine energy. At this moment, the divine energy gushed out continuously. The divine energy in Lu Ming's body was replenished. Boom, boom, boom. Lu Ming and the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix collided more than a dozen times in a row. Lu Ming was forced to retreat backward each time. However, Lu Ming's eyes were filled with a strong desire to fight. Satisfying, satisfying. Although Lu Ming was injured at the moment, he was very happy. It was because of such an intense battle that his few godly skills were improving rapidly. Chapter 2733 Encountering the Yimo Academy. The 9-stage Crimson Gold Armor and the 3 Apocalyptic Strikes were both approaching the 4th stage. As for the 9 Heavenly Kuan Peng technique, it was also approaching the limit of the 2nd stage. Lu Ming felt that he could make a breakthrough at any time. After that, Lu Ming and the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix clashed a few more times. It's almost time, Lu Ming thought to himself. After such a long delay, and Hai and the others had already escaped far away. The Frost Jade Ice Phoenix could not catch up even if she wanted to. Moreover, after the repeated collisions, although Lu Ming was only slightly injured each time, his injuries had already become quite serious. Right now, it was still within the range of control, but if this continued, his injuries would be serious and his origin would be damaged. It would not be worth it. I don't want to play with you anymore. Lu Ming chose a random direction and cast the 9 Heavenly Kuan Peng technique. Like a Kuan Peng, he dashed in that direction. The cold Jade Ice Phoenix screeched and chased after Lu Ming, its eyes filled with cold killing intent. It was obvious that it had been completely infuriated after failing to kill Lu Ming despite clashing with him continuously. Buzz! Buzz! 2 streaks of light streaked across the sky, leaving behind 2 bright trails of light as they disappeared into the distance. You're still a bit off if you want to catch up to me. Lu Ming smiled and activated the 9 Heavenly Kuan Peng technique to its maximum. A Kuan Peng really appeared on the surface of his body. It looked illusionary, but it also increased Lu Ming's speed. I've broken through to the 3rd level. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He didn't expect that he would unintentionally break through to the 3rd level of the 9 Heavenly Kuan Peng technique. The 9 Heavenly Garuda movement technique was incomplete. There were only 7 levels, and each level was more powerful than the previous. Once a breakthrough was made, one's speed would increase explosively. Buzz! Lu Ming disappeared into the distance in an instant, and the distance between him and the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix widened rapidly. The Frost Jade Ice Phoenix was different from the other divine phoenixes. It was not known for its speed. The Frost Jade Ice Phoenix's strongest point was its attack power. A casual attack contained the ultimate cold chi and could freeze everything. Lu Ming had only been able to fight against the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix for so long by relying on the divine power of the utmost cold. Therefore, the moment Lu Ming's 9 Heavenly Kunpeng technique made a breakthrough, the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix could no longer catch up to him. Not long after, Lu Ming had completely shaken off the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix. Lu Ming had only been able to fight against the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix for so long by relying on the divine power of the utmost cold. Therefore, the moment Lu Ming's 9 Heavenly Kunpeng technique made a breakthrough, the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix could no longer catch up to him. Not long after, Lu Ming had completely shaken off the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix. This battle was worth it. Lu Ming smiled. The breakthrough in the 9 Heavenly Kunpeng technique had improved his ability to protect himself. Immediately after, Lu Ming found a hidden place and swallowed another healing elixir to channel his energy to heal his injuries. Lu Ming's injuries were not serious. He had fully recovered after a few hours. Moreover, the divine power in his body was boiling and he was at his peak. Of course, this was all thanks to the quant formula. With the quant 1 Tai formula, Lu Ming did not have to worry about the consumption of divine power. He could replenish it in an instant after using it. There are cold moonstones in this area. Since we're here, let's look for them. We can't miss them. Lu Ming pondered and left the place. He headed to the central area according to the map. He cultivated as he hurried on his way. They did not encounter any more danger along the way. After half a day, Lu Ming arrived at an icy mountain range. This mountain range was incomparably huge and stretched across the world. If one wanted to cross it, one had to cross it. From afar, one could hear terrifying roars coming from the mountain range. It was obvious that there were terrifying wild beasts living in the mountain range. Lu Ming retracted his aura and landed on the ground. He used his ident 1 Tai and rushed in. Not long after he rushed into the mountain range, a huge creature pounced on Lu Ming. It was a giant lizard that was dozens of meters tall. It was snow white and emitted a cold aura. Its body was covered in a layer of ice armor, which seemed to have amazing defensive power. Lu Ming immediately thrust his spear. Buzz! The sound of metal clashing rang out. The long spear pierced the lizard's ice armor, and shattered ice flew in all directions. It made an ear-piercing sound. Break, kill! Lu Ming shouted and divine power burst forth. The long spear exploded with a terrifying penetrating power, piercing through the ice armor and killing the lizard. This desolate beast is so powerful. Lu Ming thought to himself that the ice-armored lizard's cultivation was only equivalent to a first-stage true god, but its ability was much stronger than many second-stage true god experts, and it was even harder to kill. The Ice Soul Clan's ancestral land was filled with cold air. The desolate beasts that lived there were generally stronger. After killing the lizard, Lu Ming continued to venture deeper into the mountain range. Following that, different wild beasts charged at Lu Ming. Fortunately, they were not particularly strong. There was no one as strong as the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix. Not long after, Lu Ming had already crossed more than half of the mountain range. CSI. A few icy armored giant pythons appeared and attacked Lu Ming. The abilities of these few icy armored giant pythons were astonishingly strong. Each of them was not weaker than an ordinary 5th-stage true god. In addition, it had amazing defense and was very difficult to kill. Lu Ming had to put in a lot of effort before he could kill it. The skin and bones of this kind of icy giant python are good forging materials. They can be used to forge a mid-grade divine weapon, soft armor, and a soft whip. Lu Ming pondered for a moment before he took action and peeled off the skin and bones of the few icy giant pythons. The soft armor and whips made from this kind of thing were most suitable for strong people who cultivated ice attribution power. Their power would increase and they could be sold for a good price. There's danger. Lu Ming, who was peeling the snake's skin, suddenly felt his heart skip a beat. He moved 100 meters away. Bang, bang. A few rays of black light bombarded the spot where Lu Ming had been standing. One of the rays even slashed the ice-armored python, cutting it into two. What a powerful force! Lu Ming's pupils constricted. He was very clear about the defense of the ice-armored giant python. Even if he used all his strength, he would not be able to break through it so easily. Buzz. And NBSP whoosh. With a flash, a dozen figures appeared not far away. Unique Devil Academy, Lu Shangkai. Lu Ming's eyes flashed with a cold glint. These dozen people were from the Unique Devil Academy. Originally, there were 18 people from the Unique Devil Academy. However, it seemed that there were only 16 of them. It seemed that 2 of them had already died. The person in the lead was Lu Shangkai. Lu Ming, you're the only one left in your Kongxian sect? Lu Shangkai said as he swept his gaze across the room. So what if I'm alone? Lu Ming said indifferently. It's nothing. I can only say that you're unlucky to have met us here. Previously on Ice Soul Star, Bing Qing was there to stop you, but now, there's no one to help you. Lu Shangkai said coldly, his strong killing intent spreading out without restraint. If you want to kill me, you'll have to pay a painful price. Lu Ming held the long spear in his hand and a strong fighting spirit emanated from him. I'll be the main attacker. You guys support me from behind and kill him as soon as possible. Lu Shangkai sent a voice transmission to the other members of the Unique Devil Academy. The abilities that Lu Ming had displayed back then were too shocking. Other than him, the others were not reliable and could easily be killed by Lu Ming. Only when he stepped forward and the others attacked from behind would it be foolproof. Chapter 2734 Great Battle Against Lu Shangkai Buzz. After the voice transmission ended, Lu Shangkai's figure rushed out. At the same time, the black lines on his face glowed, emitting a few rays of black light. This black light was the one that had ambushed Lu Ming earlier. It was extremely powerful and Lu Ming did not dare to be careless. Boom! Lu Ming's fighting spirit surged. He immediately activated the double combat power of the battle character formula. The 5 divine fires in his dantian burned fiercely and all his divine power burst out in an instant. In an instant, Lu Ming stabbed more than 10 times in succession. More than 10 spear shadows were thrust out and collided with the black light that Lu Shangkai had launched. Boom, boom, boom. A series of explosions rang out and the ice rocks on the ground cracked. Lu Ming's body trembled as he felt an extremely powerful force surging towards him, causing him to retreat rapidly. Buzz, buzz. The long spear in Lu Ming's palm vibrated continuously. He felt that the hand that was holding the spear was numb. What powerful strength! Lu Ming's face was a little solemn. Lu Shangkai's strength was truly shocking. He was a 5th-tier true god and could control divine power. His strength was far beyond what an Hai and the others could compare to. Kill! At the same time, the other people from the Unique Devil Academy also made their moves. For example, Wuxia and the others were filled with killing intent and launched terrifying attacks. Lu Ming immediately activated the 9-layer scarlet gold armor. A scarlet gold battle armor covered his entire body. At the same time, Lu Ming retreated rapidly to avoid the attacks. You want to hide? Say. Lu Shangkai said coldly and charged at Lu Ming again. The black patterns on his face began to glow again, bursting forth with rays of black light. This black light was sharper than a divine blade, and its speed was astonishing. Again, die! Lu Ming shouted. His fighting spirit suddenly grew stronger. He had successfully triggered the tripled combat power. Then, Lu Ming used the 3 apocalyptic strikes. The spear's radiance burst forth and once again collided with Lu Shangkai's black radiance. This time, Lu Ming had successfully dispelled Lu Shangkai's attack. At the same time, he had blocked all the attacks from the others. You do have some strength. Lu Shangkai's cold voice was heard, but the killing intent in his eyes was even stronger. The more powerful Lu Ming was, the more he had to be eliminated. Kill! Lu Shangkai let out a long howl, and his aura became even more terrifying. His entire body was shrouded in a layer of black divine power, and he looked like a demonic god. The lines on his face glowed even brighter. Then, a huge seal condensed in his hand and he smashed it down on Lu Ming. Boom! The seal was as large as a mountain, and its power was extremely terrifying. Before it even landed, a terrifying force surged, and the ice stones on the ground continuously exploded. The huge seal directly enveloped Lu Ming. Lu Ming had seen Lu Shangkai use this move against the Frost Jade Ice Phoenix before. One must know that Lu Shangkai did not control the ultimate cold divine power. When he fought with the cold Jade Ice Phoenix, he had to resist the ultimate cold chi of the cold Jade Ice Phoenix. But even so, he was still able to resist the cold Jade Ice Phoenix, which showed his power. 3 apocalyptic strikes, break the sky. Lu Ming did not dare to be careless. He attacked with all his might. A dazzling spear radiance soared into the sky and collided with the black seal, causing a huge boom. Then, a figure fell to the ground and crashed heavily. It was Lu Ming. Lu Shankai's ability was indeed extremely shocking. Even though Lu Ming had used his full strength, he was still no match for him. This is a good chance kill. Wuxia roared and attacked together with the other people from the unique Devil Academy. They launched attacks one after another at Lu Ming. Boom! The ground exploded, and a figure shot into the sky like a ROC. Although Lu Ming was no match for Lu Shangkai, his injuries were not too serious. He activated the 9 heavenly Kunpeng technique and flew up into the 9 heavens, avoiding the attacks of Wuxia and the others. If you want to leave, then stay. Lu Shankai's entire person was like a black demonic light. He soared into the sky and charged toward Lu Ming. Let's go! Lu Ming did not linger in the battle. He cast the 9 heavenly Kunpeng technique, turned around and left. With his current strength, he was still slightly weaker than Lu Shangkai. With the help of the other people from the unique Devil Academy, he was definitely not a match for Lu Shangkai. If they continued to fight, he would be in danger. The 3rd stage of the 9 heavenly Kunpeng technique was shockingly fast. Lu Ming seemed to have turned into a shadow as he sped away. You want to escape from me? In your dreams, evil demon wings. Lu Shangkai shouted coldly. The lines on his face glowed even brighter and spread to the rest of his body. Soon, the lines covered the rest of his body. Then, a pair of wings suddenly appeared on his back. It was a pair of devil-like wings. This was the innate secret skill of Lu Shankai's clan. Buzz. After extending his demonic wings, Lu Shankai's speed suddenly increased explosively and he charged at Lu Ming. He was actually slightly faster than Lu Ming. It was not that his innate secret technique was stronger than the 9 heavenly Kunpeng technique, but Lu Shankai's cultivation base was higher, so he was naturally faster when he used it. Lu Ming's expression changed slightly. His divine power surged and he flew forward at full speed. The speed of the two was very shocking. Along the way, some wild beasts noticed them, but they didn't have time to attack. The 2 pies said by in a flash. Quick, follow them. The rest of the people from the unique Demon Academy also rushed in the direction that Lu Ming and Lu Shangkai had flown in. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming and Lu Shangkai had flown tens of thousands of miles away. However, the distance between them was getting closer and closer. You can't escape. If I don't kill you today, my name isn't Lu Shangkai. Lu Shangkai said coldly. With a wave of his hands, a few rays of black light slashed toward Lu Ming, hitting the 9-layered scarlet gold armor on Lu Ming's body and almost shattering it. Bush. Lu Shangkai kept on launching attacks, but Lu Ming blocked them with his spear. In the blink of an eye, they had traveled thousands of miles. Lu Ming's expression suddenly changed. A large canyon appeared in front of him. The large canyon was filled with an extremely terrifying cold air. This cold air even made people feel a sense of danger. Lu Ming did not look back and rushed into the canyon. Voila! After Lu Ming rushed into the Great Canyon, he realized that it was not an ordinary canyon. The bottom of the canyon was actually filled with water. Yes, in such a cold place, there was actually water, like a long and narrow lake. White mist kept rising from the lake, blocking the view of the valley. What was shocking was that the white mist that spread out from the lake surface made sizzling sounds when it touched Lu Ming. At this moment, Lu Ming was circulating the 9-layer scarlet gold armor. However, a layer of frost had appeared on the surface of the 9-layer scarlet gold armor. The 9-layer scarlet gold armor had suffered serious damage, and waves of terrifying cold air were spreading towards Lu Ming's body. What a terrifying cold chi! Lu Ming was shocked. The cold air coming out of the lake was so cold that even the 9-layer scarlet gold armor was almost frozen. Lu Ming hurriedly circulated his ultimate cold divine energy to offset the cold air outside. However, Lu Shankai didn't have the divine power of extreme cold. He used all his divine power to block it, but the surface of his body was still covered in a layer of frost, which was bone-chilling. Chapter 2735 The treasure at the bottom of the lake. Lu Shankai couldn't help but slow down. He even retracted his demonic wings, because they were also covered with a layer of frost. This is a good place. Let's go deeper. Lu Ming's eyes flickered as he retracted the divine power of absolute frost. Immediately, Lu Ming's body was covered in a layer of frost. He looked as if he had almost been frozen into a snowman. He trembled as he continued to fly deeper into the canyon. At the sight of Lu Ming, Lu Shankai thought that Lu Ming would not be able to withstand it. Oof, the cold chi here is so terrifying. I don't think you can resist it even if you're at the 8th level of ethereal god realm. This place will be your grave. The killing intent in Lu Shankai's eyes turned even colder. He continued to chase after Lu Ming. Soon, they were deep in the canyon. The cold air here was even more terrifying. What is under the water? It's actually emitting such terrifying cold chi? Lu Ming pondered in his heart. He was a little curious. At the same time, he slowed down. Brat die! Lu Shankai shouted coldly and launched an attack on Lu Ming. However, he had to resist the cold air outside, so the power of his attacks was naturally much weaker than outside. You're the one who's going to die. Lu Ming suddenly turned around, his eyes as cold as a knife. He circulated the ultimate cold divine energy and blocked the cold air outside. Then, all his divine power burst out and attacked Lu Shankai. Boom, boom. After a few explosions, a figure was pushed back. It was Lu Shankai. How did you use your full strength? Lu Shankai shouted in shock. And NBSP in this place, the cold energy was too terrifying. If one used divine power to block it, one's body would quickly be frozen, and if one used divine power to block it, one's combat power would be bound to weaken. However, Lu Ming's attack power was not weak at all. No, you've mastered the divine power of extreme cold. How is this possible? You didn't use the divine power of extreme cold just now. Thinking of this, Lu Shankai cried out even more in shock and disbelief. A single person could actually control several Shen powers at the same time. Kill! Lu Ming could not be bothered to talk nonsense with him. Once again he charged at Lu Shankai. The spear light was like a rainbow, revealing a terrifying killing intent. You want to kill me? Dream on! Lu Shankai roared. Runes appeared all over his body, making him even stronger. He conjured a huge pitch-black cauldron and hurled it at Lu Ming. However, it was a pity that he still had to use a part of his divine power to resist the cold air outside and could not unleash his full power. He was at a disadvantage in the collision with Lu Ming. Boom! The pitch-black seal shattered, and Lu Shankai was sent flying backward while vomiting blood. Kill! Lu Ming seized the opportunity and attacked Lu Shankai frantically. Voila! The energy surged and the water on the lake churned, stirring up thousands of waves. Some of the lake water fell on the surface of Lu Ming's body, and a bone-piercing chill instantly filled Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming could not help but shiver. One must know that Lu Ming was circulating the ultimate cold divine energy at the moment, but he still felt so cold. The temperature of the lake water was shockingly low. If Lu Ming was already in such a state, Lu Shankai was naturally in a worse state. He was splashed by the lake water, and his body turned into an ice block. Even his divine power was frozen. Ah! Lu Shankai roared and burned his divine power. His divine power burned like fire, melting the ice and removing the coldness. However, Lu Ming's attack had arrived. A spear's gleam was aimed at Lu Shankai's vital point. He roared and dodged the attack, but his chest was still pierced by the spear's gleam and his body flew far away. "Lu Ming, you better remember this," Lu Shankai roared, stretched out his demonic wings, and turned to run. He knew that he would not be able to kill Lu Ming today. If he continued to stay, he might really die here. "Where do you think you're going?" Lu Ming gave chase. However, Lu Shankai was burning his divine power with all his might at the moment. His speed was astonishing. Lu Ming did not manage to catch up with him for a while. Lu Shankai rushed out of the canyon very quickly. After rushing out of the canyon, Lu Shankai spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. His aura was weak, and he was heavily injured. He didn't dare to stay any longer. He turned into a streak of light and flew into the distance. It's a pity that this guy got away. Lu Ming did not pursue him. He sighed to himself. Lu Shankai flew all the way. Not long after, he met the other people from the Unique Demon Academy. When the other people from the Unique Demon Academy saw that Lu Shankai was injured, they were shocked. "Senior brother Lu, what's wrong? Where's Lu Ming?" Could it be that Lu Ming has been killed by senior brother Lu? The disciples of the Yimo Academy spoke one after another. Lu Shankai's face turned even gloomier. "Lu Ming is still alive. He's very cunning and is hiding in a dangerous place. I was by him accidentally. They'll find a place to recuperate first." The others were shocked when they heard that. It turned out that Lu Ming was not dead. He seemed to have tricked Lu Shankai and injured him. Immediately, they found a hidden place to stay. Lu Shankai did not reveal that Lu Ming controlled several types of divine powers. He had his own selfish motives and wanted to kill Lu Ming in secret to seize that kind of cultivation technique. To be able to control several divine powers at the same time, what kind of divine technique is this? I have to get it. Lu Shankai's eyes glowed with a cold light. He swallowed a divine pill and began to heal. Lu Ming did not leave the canyon. He was curious about the cold air in the canyon and decided to explore it. Lu Ming went deeper into the canyon. The deeper he went into the canyon, the thicker the cold air became. If he did not cultivate cold attribute divine power, it would be difficult to resist it. However, Lu Ming had the divine power of frost and could block it. Soon, they reached the end of the canyon, which was cut off by an ice wall. The cold air here was the thickest, and it was constantly emitted from the lake. There must be something underwater. Let's go down and take a look. Lu Ming made up his mind and then circulated the ultimate cold divine power, covering it with all his strength, and plunged into the lake. The moment he entered the lake, Lu Ming shivered again. The temperature in the lake was shockingly low. However, Lu Ming still blocked it and slowly dived down. The surface of the lake was not very deep, only about 100 meters. Very soon, Lu Ming reached the bottom of the lake. The moment Lu Ming reached the bottom of the lake, he noticed something strange. There was a ball of snow-white liquid at the bottom of the lake. It was the size of a fist and was suspended in the water, emitting a shocking chill. Lu Ming was certain that the source of the chilliness here was this ball of liquid. What kind of liquid is this? It's actually filled with such a shocking chill? Lu Ming sized it up carefully, but he did not recognize it at all. This is most likely a treasure. I can't miss it. Lu Ming approached it slowly. There was nothing unusual. Then he took out a storage ring. A force of attraction appeared and enveloped the liquid, successfully storing it into one of the storage rings. As soon as the liquid was taken away, the temperature in the area rose rapidly. The chill was greatly reduced and it was not as cold as before. That liquid was indeed the source of the chill here. I'll study it after I bring it back. Lu Ming held the storage ring in his hand and was prepared to take it back to study it slowly. However, at this moment, a scene that shocked Lu Ming appeared. Chapter 2736 Refining a Treasure. Lu Ming grabbed the storage ring and was about to put it away when a terrifying chill suddenly gushed out from the storage ring, almost freezing Lu Ming's hand. Lu Ming quickly let go of the storage ring and saw that a layer of frost had appeared on the storage ring. Gotcha! Then, a crack appeared on the storage ring. As the first crack appeared, a second crack immediately appeared. Then, more and more cracks appeared, and finally, the cracks were like a dense spider web. Bang! A moment later, the storage ring exploded into pieces like a piece of ice, and the liquid reappeared in the lake, exuding a shocking chill. The storage ring was frozen and shattered. Lu Ming was at a loss for words. Fortunately, there was nothing else in the storage ring. Lu Ming was afraid that other things would be frozen by the liquid. Therefore, he took an empty storage ring to store the liquid. He did not expect that even the storage ring could not store the liquid. Kid, such a treasure usually needs to be stored in a corresponding tool or sealed before it can be taken away. You can't take it away with a storage ring. In his sea of consciousness, the voice of the quant. 1. Thai formula sounded. Old Liang, do you know any sealing techniques? Can you teach me one or two? Lu Ming said. I don't understand. The quant. Thai formula replied, causing Lu Ming to roll his eyes. Could it be that I can't take this treasure with me? Lu Ming was a little speechless. He felt extremely upset. This ball of liquid was definitely a rare treasure. It would be strange if he didn't feel bad after encountering a treasure and not being able to take it away. That might not be the case. Didn't you cultivate an ice attribute secret technique? You can directly refine this liquid and make it a part of your secret technique. Not only can you take it away, but it can also transform your secret technique and give it shocking power. The quant. 1. Thai formula said. Yeah. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He had originally come here to find a cold moonstone to cultivate the cold ice chain, but other cold attribute treasures might be able to replace the cold moonstone. If he used this liquid to cultivate, he might be able to greatly increase the power of the ice shackles. Then let's start. Lu Ming was filled with antic. 1. Asian. He immediately activated the ice chain secret skill and 9 ice chains extended from his body. Kid, wait a moment. Rather than cultivating 9 chains, why don't you cultivate one? Put more focus on cultivating 1 ice chain in this liquid. That way, you can truly display the power of this liquid. If you cultivate 9 chains, the power will be less powerful. The quant. 1. Thai formula reminded him again. That's reasonable. Lu Ming nodded. With a thought, he kept the other 8 ice chains, leaving only 1 remaining. That ice chain wrapped around the ball of liquid. As soon as it wrapped around the ball of liquid, the ice chain made a cracking sound, as if it was about to be frozen. The ice chains were originally extremely cold, but at this moment, they were about to be frozen. One could see how cold the liquid was. Moreover, there was a shocking chill that rushed into Lu Ming's body through the ice chains. Lu Ming quickly circulated his god's power and the divine power of frost to resist it. Then, he began to absorb and refine the liquid according to the method of the secret skill, ice chain. This was a difficult and slow process. Time passed, said by day. 1 day, 5 days, 10 days, a month. Lu Ming's refining took 2 months. During this period of time, Lu Shangkai had led the people from the unique Demon Academy to block Lu Ming at the entrance of the canyon. However, more than a month had passed, and Lu Ming had not come out. Lu Shangkai thought that Lu Ming had left long ago and had left later on. After 2 months of refining, the ball of liquid was finally completely refined by Lu Ming and it was completely integrated into the ice chain. The ice chain seemed to have turned into a physical substance. It was bone-chilling and emitted a terrifying chill. Good. Lu Ming was extremely satisfied. The power of this ice chain was very shocking. It could be Lu Ming's trump card. Once used, it could catch the opponent off guard and freeze them. Satisfied, Lu Ming kept the ice chain. The ice chain retracted into Lu Ming's body and disappeared. It had already been refined. Naturally, it had no effect on Lu Ming. It's been 2 months. I have to hurry to the central area. Lu Ming pondered and left the valley, heading towards the central area. Along the way, Lu Ming was also looking for the cold moon stone. Unfortunately, he did not find any traces of the cold moon stone. Just like that, Lu Ming finally neared his destination after half a month. In the central area, there was a huge ice mountain. This ice mountain was hundreds of thousands of meters high and pierced into the sky. This was the destination of their trip. The ice jade cold heart that the Ice Soul clan was looking for was on this ice mountain. However, this ice mountain was not easy to climb. There was a terrifying restriction here that made it impossible to fly. One could only climb up along the mountain. However, there were many powerful desolate beasts guarding the mountain. The 9th young master of the Ice Soul clan, Bing Qing, and many other members of the Ice Soul clan had arrived. In addition, Lu Shangkai and the others had also arrived. They didn't go up immediately. Instead, they were waiting for everyone to gather their strongest power and then go up together. Someone's here again. Suddenly, someone looked in one direction. 9 figures flew over from the other side. These 9 people were Kong Xian Sex and Hai and the others. After a few months of trekking, they had finally arrived at this place. The Kong Xian sect. Lu Shankai's eyes turned cold as soon as he saw the people from the Kong Xian sect. His body moved, and he charged toward Hai and the others. His powerful aura was like a mountain, pressing down on Hai and the others. Boom! The bodies of Hai and the others trembled violently as they retreated. Some of the weaker cultivators even spat out a mouthful of blood. Lu Shangkai, what are you doing? Hai was furious. What are you doing? Lu Shangkai sneered, his cold, killing intent spreading, making the surrounding air even colder. Buzz! 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 The other disciples of the unique demon academy flashed and surrounded Hai and his group. The faces of Hai and the others turned pale. Where's Lu Ming? Lu Shangkai asked coldly. I don't know. We were separated from him a long time ago. The long-faced young man replied. Lost? Alright, since that kid isn't here, he'll take your lives in exchange. Lu Shangkai said ferociously. The black patterns on his face glowed, and he was about to kill Hai and the others. The expressions of Hai and the others changed drastically. The 9 of them gathered together and set up layers of defense. Brother Lu, wait a moment. At this moment, Bing Qing spoke and walked over. 9th young lord, are you going to stop me? Lu Shangkai looked at Bing Qing. The Ice Soul clan has invited you here to retrieve the Ice Jade Cold Heart. Since we haven't gotten it yet, I must make sure that we gather the strongest forces we can. If you have any grudges, you can settle them after we get the Ice Jade Cold Heart. I won't stop you then, Bing Qing said. His meaning was clear. I need everyone's strength to get the heart of the frozen jade. After I get it, you can fight however you want. Chapter 2737 Fighting Lu Shangkai. Again Lu Shankai's expression changed, then he sneered and said, since the 9th young lord has spoken, I'll naturally give him face. However, the Kong Xian sect has offended me. I can't just let this go. Then he looked at Hai and the others again. He said condescendingly, I'll give you a chance now. Kneel down and admit your mistakes, and I'll spare your lives. What? You want us to kneel and kowtow to admit our mistakes? Don't even think about it. Hai suddenly shouted. It was simply an insult to kneel down and kowtow to Lu Shangkai in front of so many people. Moreover, if news of this spread to the Kong Xian sect, they would not be able to live in this world anymore. This was not only their personal humiliation, but also the Kong Xian section's. That's right, Lu Shangkai. Every injustice has its perpetrator, and every debt has its debtor. Lu Ming has offended you. You should look for Lu Ming, not us. The long-faced young man also shouted. Lu Ming is from your Kong Xian sect. He has offended me, and all of you are guilty. Now kneel down. Lu Shangkai shouted coldly. The aura on his body became even more violent. Like a mountain, it pressed down on Hai and the others. A few of the weaker cultivators couldn't resist it and spat out blood. Their bodies fell to the ground. Only Hai and the long-faced young man were still struggling to hold on. If you still want to resist, get down. Lu Shangkai shouted coldly. He stretched out his hand, and a huge palm formed. It pressed down on Hai and the long-faced young man. The 2 of them roared and used all their strength to resist, but they were no match for the big hand. Their bodies trembled violently under the pressure of the big hand, and they fell to the ground like 2 meteorites. Boom. Lu Shankai looked down from above, his aura growing more and more violent as he pressed down on An Hai and the others. Kneel down. Lu Shankai took one step at a time, and a violent pressure pressed down on An Hai and the others. Plop. Finally, someone with a weaker cultivation base couldn't take it anymore and knelt down with a plop. Kneel down. The other experts from the unique Devil Academy also joined in and burst out with their aura. With so many experts, the pressure was even more shocking. The disciples of the Kongxian sect could not bear it and knelt down one by one. In the end, An Hai and the long-faced young man were the only ones who hadn't knelt down. They were struggling to hold on. Still not kneeling, you're really looking for death. Lu Shankai shouted coldly and pressed his palm down again. A huge palm formed and forced An Hai and the others to kneel on the ground. Lu Shankai, you're so impressive. At this moment, a cold voice came from afar. Before the voice could fade away, a spear's gleam had already flown over and pierced through the spear's gleam that Lu Shankai had condensed. Lu Ming. Lu Shankai looked into the distance with a cold gaze. A figure was approaching from the distance. Who else could it be but Lu Ming? After more than half a month's journey, Lu Ming finally arrived at this place. He happened to see Lu Shankai oppressing An Hai and the rest. Boss. An Hai was overjoyed to see Lu Ming. Lu Ming stepped on the air and stopped not far away. Brat, you finally dared to show yourself. I thought you didn't dare to show yourself. Lu Shankai said coldly. Why wouldn't I dare to show myself when I've just been defeated? Lu Ming smiled in disdain. At the side, Bing Qing and the others were all shocked. A defeated opponent? Could it be that Lu Ming had already fought with Lu Shankai before and Lu Shankai lost in the end? Lu Ming was so powerful? Nonsense. You're just making use of the environment. Now, let's see how you're going to fight me. Lu Shankai shouted, his killing intent growing stronger. You two, if there's anything, let's settle it later. Bing Qing stood up and said, Ninth young master, don't worry. I won't kill him now. I just want him to kneel down and kowtow to me. Lu Shankai said coldly. I also have the same intention. Lu Ming's eyes flashed with killing intent as he looked at Lu Shankai. Seeing the two of them at daggers drawn, Bing Qing shook her head helplessly and retreated to the side. Lu Ming, kneel down and kowtow. Lu Shankai roared. The lines on his face glowed and quickly covered his entire body. Whoosh, whoosh. A few rays of black light burst out and slashed at Lu Ming. Fight! Lu Ming's body erupted with a shocking fighting spirit. Previously, he had been silently activating the battle formula. At this moment, he had successfully activated the double combat strength of the battle formula. Buzz! The long spear trembled, causing the air to explode continuously. A few spear rays pierced through the air and shot forward. After a few consecutive booms, the spear's gleam and Lu Shankai's radiance collapsed at the same time. Lu Ming's figure drifted backward. So powerful. Although Lu Ming retreated, the others were still shocked by Lu Ming's combat strength. To them, Lu Ming could actually block Lu Shankai's attack. It was simply unbelievable. Kill! Lu Shankai bellowed, unleashing all his strength. He pushed his hands forward and a huge black seal condensed, pressing down on Lu Ming. The huge seal stirred up waves that filled the sky, and its power was astonishing. The 9 Heavenly Kuan-Peng Technique. Lu Ming cast the 9 Heavens Kuan-Peng Technique. Like a Kuan-Peng, he soared into the sky and dodged Lu Shankai's attack in a flash. If you want to leave, stay. A pair of demonic wings stretched out from Lu Shankai's back. As he flapped them, he chased after Lu Ming at an alarming speed and launched a fierce attack at the same time. Break the sky! Lu Ming suddenly turned around and cast the 3 apocalyptic strikes. Boom! A mushroom cloud seemed to have exploded in the sky. Then, Lu Ming's figure drifted backward. In a head-on confrontation, Lu Ming was indeed not Lu Shankai's match. The main reason was that the difference in cultivation level was too great. Lu Ming, if you don't kneel down today, you'll die. Lu Shankai's cold voice was heard and he continued to charge at Lu Ming. Boom! Boom! The two figures flickered and collided in the sky. They were so fast that some of the weaker cultivators couldn't even see their trajectories. Lu Ming is going to be defeated, someone muttered. After a series of collisions, Lu Ming's breathing was already a little unstable. Blood was flowing out from the corner of his mouth. Kneel down. Lu Shangkai looked down from above. He held a huge seal in his hand and smashed it down on Lu Ming, trying to suppress Lu Ming and make him kneel on the ground. Now! Lu Ming's eyes glimmered, staring at Lu Shankai's figure. He then performed the air-piercing move and charged at Lu Shangkai as one with his spear. Boom! Lu Ming's body trembled violently from the collision and he spat out a mouthful of blood. His body fell to the ground like a kite with a broken string. At the sight of this, Lu Shankai's expression turned ferocious. He flapped his demonic wings and charged at Lu Ming like a bolt of lightning. In the blink of an eye, he was already close to Lu Ming. However, he realized that Lu Ming's expression was very calm. There was even a sneer at the corner of his mouth. Not good. Lu Shankai's heart thumped wildly, having a bad feeling. Ice chains, let's go. Lu Ming said indifferently. A chain flew out of his body. It was the secret skill, ice chain. As soon as the ice chain appeared, the temperature of the surrounding space dropped sharply. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Immortal Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.